Let's do this. Get ready for the Dirt Life Show.
Yeah. Happy Monday, everyone. We're ready for the Dirt Life Show. Today's show is going to be really, really good. We got episode 60. Can you believe it? 60 of the Dirt Life Show. Man, we're just clicking them off like left and right. So like I said, happy Monday night. We really appreciate you guys joining us. Tonight's show is, I don't want to say jam-packed, but we're going to have a whole bunch of fun. We got Myles Cheek calling in. He's going to be talking about his production normally aspirated championship in the Lucas Oil Offroad Racing Series that just concluded this past weekend, actually. So there was a bunch of champions crowned. Maybe you guys could chime in and tell us some of the other champions that we might not be aware of. And we got some of our friends that are going to talk about track and trail. So we always like going to the track, having fun with our buddies, racing and stuff like that. But it's the season that's starting to cool off, so we're going to talk about some trail riding and stuff too. Going out your Jeeps, going out to the sand dunes, going out your side-by-sides, riding. And we're going to talk with Kerri and Oren from Track Trail Offroad. Kerri is an avid off-roader. She likes being outdoors, doing all that good stuff. And Oren is, I would say, probably one of, if not, one of the best in the passenger seat of a trophy truck, because he does it with Bryce Menzies. He's worked with Casey Curry for a long time. He can turn some serious wrenches along with Kerri, and they just have a really good time, man. So we're really looking forward to talking with them. I know I'm going to learn a lot. And in the studio tonight, we got our buddy Joe Whining. What's up, Joe?
Another fun, exciting day. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm stoked that you could come, too, because you also know Oren, right?
Yeah, we met Oren probably some 10 years ago.
So
doing the Lucas Oil.
When he was working with Casey Curry?
Yeah, I think that's when we had met, and just this whole off-road life. It's all just kind of a small family, and then we all just kind of stay together.
It really is, right?
Yeah,
like, when
sure.
was the last time you actually saw Oren? Like, you and him both work with Bryce Menzies for a duration of time, and I think he still does, and you still have arm's length with Bryce. When was the last time you guys saw each other?
Vegas to Reno, which was in early August.
Oh, okay.
Of this year.
So it was actually pretty quick, or pretty recent then.
Correct. And that's kind of the nice thing about off-road, and we're all, for the most part, we're all good buddies, and have a good time. And when it comes to racing, it's racing.
Dude, how rad is that, though?
With the helmets off, it's high fives and drinking beers or doing whatever we do. You know what I mean? It's a blast. But
eating tacos.
Correct. But like you say, when the helmet goes on, it's game time.
Yeah, it's business.
Yep.
Business as usual.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really cool to talk with them. Casey Peck, co-host extraordinary, just said, "What's up, fellas? How you doing, Case? Missing you over here at the studio. We had tacos without you, bud."
Yep.
So it looks like our technical difficulties from last week might have not been happening today, so we're pumped on that. So we're going to have a good show, like I said. Before we start getting into the show, I definitely want to thank all of our sponsors, and this is even more so. Like, I was thinking about it this week. Casey and I had a show last week, and we talked about the UTV World Championships, and Joe, you're familiar with those.
Oh, yeah.
It's basically the biggest UTV race, and it was really cool for me to be back out there. For those that don't know, I had a serious accident the previous year, and it was cool to get back out there and all the support and stuff like you just talked about. Everybody in the off-road industry, the community is small, and it was neat to see everybody. But it's also neat to see the growth of the actual industry. So, you deal with it on a daily basis, helping people, fix their cars and, razors and buggies and different stuff like that. 10 years ago, you probably wouldn't have been doing that same kind of thing. It would have been a totally different game back then.
It was a completely different game back then. Now the technology and everything has exceeded, all of our expectations, I guess you would say.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with the whole sponsor thing is, like,
Man.
There's so many different companies and there's so many different people that I'm thankful for, obviously, because they help the show, but also that the whole industry should be thankful for because they're leading the experiences that we're all having on the weekends. They're creating good parts, creating good tires, creating good shocks, like all of this stuff, whether they sponsor our show or not. They're amazing companies doing all this stuff for us to get out there and shred.
Correct, and that's the thing. You don't want to be stuck out there in the desert, or on the trail, and have a part failure. So all these companies that are supporting us, they're striving to make their part better.
Coming out with badass gear.
Exactly. And just a good time.
It really is, and I think it's cool. And I want to talk to Kerri and Oren about that a little bit later and see what they think too. I know that they deal with more Jeeps and stuff like that, but it'd be neat to get their opinion on the side-by-side, the oversized golf carts.
Yeah, that market is well. It's been hot for years, but it seems like it's just getting hotter, but day by day.
It seems like lately, unless it's just me looking more on the outside and not being so racer oriented, it seems like this past 18 months, it's just started really taking off, more than usual, right?
I agree, and it's amazing, and a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon and trying to produce different parts and different systems and setups, and it's just it's nuts. I hope it continues. It's just awesome because the competition between all these vendors and all these different parts and all that just keeps excelling. And these side by sides are awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Well, don't leave that subject open because I want to talk a little bit more about driving that RS1 at the UTV Worlds because I didn't get to talk about it too much last show. Maybe you could read some of those comments while I tell everybody how they can consume our media. So you guys can always go to Facebook and YouTube. We are live Monday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So join us every Monday night. Come in, comment. We already got a bunch of comments coming in. So join us. Comment, join the conversation. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you guys did over the weekend. Maybe you guys had some fun at the dunes or at the track or on a trail, and how you guys lived your dirt life over the weekend. So we really, really appreciate it. You guys are our lifeblood. Every single thing that you guys do really helps us. Join us on social media. We're going to have some awesome contests and things like that coming up. We said last week that we were going to do a Kmc Tire Giveaway, but nobody was interested in it, so I don't think we're going to do it. I think we're going to keep the tires and stuff like that for us. So if you guys do want that stuff, make sure you let us know. But we are going to be doing some giveaways with t-shirts and hats and different things like that, so that's going to be pretty fun. You guys can win those, so pay attention to our Instagram. You guys can always follow us at The Dirt Life Show on our social media channels. Instagram is probably the best one, Facebook and YouTube as well. You can always consume the media. If you can't watch it live, you can always check it out on iTunes, Google, Spotify. Now it's on Amazon, pretty much any network. So you can consume it anytime. Those are the best ways to consume it while you're driving or while you're listening to it at work with your headphones. And, like Joe and I were talking, we want to thank all of our sponsors. We want to thank Shock Therapy. Those guys are just amazing. Not only do they do fantastic work with shocks and get you guys' rides going better, they make all kinds of cool products. They make steering racks, sway bar links. They make pretty much everything for your UTV that needs to be upgraded. So go check those guys out and use the code DIRTLIFE, and you can save a whole bunch of money at shocktherapist.com, or you can give them a call and say the Dirt Life sent you. KMC wheels. We know Oren likes the KMC wheels. Joe's sporting his KMC XD shirt tonight.
Yep.
So thank you very much to all the guys at KMC Wheels. They helped with our Polaris RZR Winning at Life project. That turned out super, super cool. Thank you very much to the guys at Zollinger Racing Products. They're one of the companies that Joe and I kind of just talked about elevating the game of the side-by-side industry. So they're making fantastic parts. So go check out ZollingerRacingProducts.com. You can get yourself some tie rods, some radius rods. Man, they even make billet aluminum covers for your motor and transmission and stuff. So check them out. Use the code DIRTLIFE, and you can save a whole bunch of money at ZollingerRacingProducts.com. And one of the things we're going to talk about tonight, I want to bring it up with Kerri and Oren, is these solder weld off-road repair kits. They're pretty cool because you can bond metal on the trail. You can carry this little pouch with you and stuff. So if you want one, pay attention during the show. We're going to talk about how easy they are to use and what you can do to fix your vehicle or whatever it is out on the trail. So at solderweld.com, you can use the code DIRTLIFE and save a whole bunch of money on those kits as well. So thank you very, very much to all of our sponsors. We really appreciate you guys just making this show happen, man. All the viewers, you guys are our lifeblood. All of our sponsors are the people that keep this show going. So we couldn't be more appreciative of both of you guys. So thank you very, very much. Yep, and tacos are not just for Tuesdays. So it sounds like one of our viewers, John, has tacos on Monday, huh?
Yeah, tacos are good every day.
Tacos and the Dirt Life. So he probably knows that you ate tacos as well, huh? So we're going to be switching a little bit back and forth. The printer in the studio wasn't working, so we're going to be having George and Joe probably look at their iPhone a little bit more than they usually would. But we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We want you guys to oh, you know what? I want to give away some stickers too. So
Yeah.
I gave your son some stickers. Hopefully he shares them with his sister.
We'll see how that goes.
He likes the Dirt Life stickers.
He does.
Put them on his computer or his dirt bike.
Yeah, put them on the bike for sure.
That's cool, man. So Joe brought his son Tyler into the studio today. It's really cool to see, and he was already living his dirt life virtually, playing an off-road video game, right?
Yep.
So it's neat to see that as well. He'd taken after Dad.
Yeah, he lives it.
So if you guys want some stickers like the ones that Tyler got, you guys can slide into our DMs on Instagram and just ask to send them stickers, and we'll get them sent out to you. So we really appreciate you guys promoting us and sharing our stuff, and plus the stickers are just badass too. So
For sure.
the guys at Maddox Designs over in Southern California made them, so I want to give a huge shout out to those guys. Those guys are awesome. And he also operates an Instagram page called Taco Slayers.
Really?
He eats tacos every day, and he's done it for over a year. So him and his wife are pretty hardcore taco.
It sounds like it.
So thank you very much to those guys for printing out the stickers. And one thing that Joe brought up that I wanted to, before the show, that I wanted to kind of talk about before we get Myles on is the Sansport Super Show this weekend. So for those that don't know or may not live in Arizona or Southern California or anywhere close on the Southwest, the Sansport Super Show is an expo. They have all kinds of cool vehicles there. They got cars. They got, well, now it's pretty much just UTVs, but they still got big builds and pre-runners and street trucks and all kinds of cool stuff. So it's awesome to go to, right? Like the eye candy is sweet.
Correct. The product inventory that all these different vendors bring in,
right,
is just it's obviously their latest and greatest product, and it's awesome. It's really, really neat to see.
Have you been there to help any of the vendors before?
Yes, I was there a couple years back with Fortin Racing.
Oh, yeah.
And was there? I think I went last year to the one there in
So Doug
Los
actually
Angeles.
got the top qualifier position at the UTV World Championship in the turbo class.
Yep, I saw that.
So, and he's making some cool stuff.
He's making some really cool stuff.
If you know him, I need to get a discount on some spindles for some hubs for the YXZ because I want to change it to a Polaris bolt pattern.
There you go.
So, and he's those, talk about upgrading your UTV, man. The spindle or the hubs that he's selling for those things, they're all CNC billet, but they're like $1,500 or something. They're not cheap, dude.
No, but they are nice.
Yeah,
Holy smokes,
dude, they are sweet. They're like literally jewelry for your car, dude.
For sure.
It's super cool to see that. So the Sansport Super Show. Those shows are always super fun because you get to hang out with your friends and just chill and. Well, usually they have good food and beer and stuff, but this year, man, they ran out of everything. They had a huge line that was, I don't know, a quarter of a mile or something that was outside. And all this is because of COVID and social distancing and stuff, right? But Joe and I were talking about it a little bit, and I'd really like to get people's opinion on what they think about the things that have been happening because of this, because they had to shut down Sunday. Like they only lasted half a day through Saturday, then they couldn't let anybody else in, and then they ended up just shutting the whole thing down. The city of Scottsdale, Arizona said, nope, we're not going to let you guys continue because, I don't know, you're breaking the rules, I guess is the way to say it.
Yeah, I'm sure the city of Scottsdale wasn't maybe informed correctly or didn't know the expectations, but this sand show
is big.
Brings, 20,000 people, 30,000 people.
Right.
From all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely. I know guys that traveled from Oregon, like on the East Coast. Like they were traveling really far to go to this thing. And clearly they want to show off their products, right?
Yeah.
But you got to think about it like, and I don't mean this as a negative rant, but I mean you have to know what happens negative to be able to turn it around and make it a positive, right? So all of these things trickle down. They have a big effect on what's happening. So now you have a show that got canceled in Scottsdale, Arizona. That means that no matter what, Sansport Super Show is not going to come to Scottsdale, Arizona again.
No,
like it's done.
They're
right?
not invited back.
And that has nothing to do with COVID.
Correct.
That just has everything to do with the city. When you deal with big officials like this, they don't think the same as you and I do at our house or on the trail. They think about the city job that they have. They're not going to give that up. They don't want to have anything interject that's negative, and this was a negative impact for them. So whoever is sitting in that desk, they're going to be getting a whipping on Monday when they say, "Look what you did, man! You let this come to Scottsdale, and everything was went awry." So I feel really bad because all of our friends in the off-road community, all these vendors and all these people went and spent a lot of money to be able to show off their products and for people to buy these things, and it's gone. Correct. The opportunity was lost. And now the opportunity doesn't exist for Southern Arizona anymore, or Arizona in general, and they'll probably move it back to California or to Nevada or somewhere else now because of the negative impact that it has. And that also has a negative impact on people traveling to that show. Maybe the guys that are local in Arizona don't want to go to it next year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and maybe the guys that bought tickets and didn't get in, like the general admission tickets, they're just going to say, screw it, we're not going. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to have that happen again.
Yeah, especially if you drive 8 hours to L.A.
Yeah.
And you can't get in the gate.
Exactly.
And it's especially, like you said, it's especially tough for the vendors. They've invested all this time into their brand new products, and they're showcasing this awesome new product.
And we're not talking like $5,000. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in product and development, booth displays, like all of this stuff.
No,
man.
It's
bananas, dude. So, unfortunately, like, again, I don't want to be the negative guy that goes on a rant, but there's got to be some positive that comes out of it. So hopefully, like, when we talk to all these vendors and stuff in the next few weeks, we see, oh, well, you know what? We started, I saw a couple of people, they started a sale to still keep the consumers involved. So they said it was the Sansport Super Show cancellation sale. Correct. Now everybody gets 25% extra off of our products or whatever. Go online and order it. Mm-hmm. So there was some very forward-thinking people that I really love, those kind of people that think like that. And it's going to be neat to see what comes out in a positive fashion when these vendors put themselves on the forefront of making sure that this doesn't happen to them next year, So I think it's going to be pretty cool. But I'm still bummed that all that stuff happened. Like, I mean, I don't know. We can't say what we could have done better because nobody knows. Sure. But, I mean, it is what it is, I guess, right? Yeah,
it's just, like I said, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a bummer. You know what I mean? And it's really, it's fun to be able to see the parts in person.
Yeah.
And talk to the vendors and. It's, call me old school, but I like the human contact, you know what I mean? And
well, not to mention, like, you're pretty experienced. Like, you know what you're talking about. You're a mechanical dude, and you really have a good understanding of what parts belong to a vehicle. Mm-hmm. Tie rods, radius rods, wheels, spindles. Some people don't know that stuff. So when they're able to get their hands on it, man, it makes a big difference in sales.
Huge, yep.
So, and, even like I said, like, I like feeling that stuff too. I like checking it out, because you can only see a picture online. You can't touch it.
Correct. And then the same thing goes back to the big SEMA show in Vegas every year. Last year was canceled. And, dude, that's a week of just craziness.
Right.
So many vendors and so many different buyers and so many different sell. You know what I mean? Just crazy. And I'm sure it's had a huge effect on everybody.
Well, now that you bring that up, I think some of these shows, like, for some of the smaller vendors, create a quarterly revenue stream for them. So some of these guys will go to the Sansport Super Show and they'll get, like, let's just say 25% of their budget, like, back for that year. It's like Christmas shopping kind of thing, like that's their Christmas that they go and sell all their stuff. So it's really unfortunate. And I think that it'll be cool to see what your guys' comments are and see what other people think about it too, because I would like to know what people can do to make it better in the future. Like, we really want to make this industry keep growing, and we don't want to have little hiccups like this because it's all on us, man. It It could have been done better, and every
Yeah.
single person could have done better.
Yeah, and that, just like here, like Dakota had just shared, 30,000 people showed up in a matter of 4 hours. That's the off-road life. All of us have been cooped up all year long, and this event is happening, and we're going.
Yep.
And we're going to go see all this cool stuff.
We get to go see our friends.
Exactly.
Yep. That's nuts, man. 30,000 people in 4 hours. No wonder the lines were so big and stuff. And I heard one of the biggest complaints was somebody had to wait in line for a beer for an hour and a half, and then they sold out when he got up there.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. Don't ever, even if the show gets closed down, don't ever sell out a beer, man. That's the worst thing that you could ever do, because then you're going to get a negative connotation.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bummer to see that happen, but you know, there is positives that can come from it, and like I was saying before, like the UTV World Championship, when I went back there to see that, was kind of like what you're talking about, everybody showing up to the Sansport Super Show. Like when we were at the UTV World Championship, it was like a homecoming for me, and I couldn't believe how many cool vendors and how many cool people I missed. I really did. And I hope that most of these people got the same feeling when they were there for the first 6 hours of the sand show, too, because it's just like you said. It was everybody being cooped up and wanting to get back to normal.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, it's tough.
Yeah, it really is. Going back to the UTV World Championship, though, man, we had such a good time. It was such a good time. What did you think about that little Polaris RS1 that we put together?
That was a cool build.
Yeah.
A really cool build, and it looked like you guys had a lot of fun with it, and the car performed well.
It did, yeah. It was pretty crazy. Like, I've never driven well, in fact, let me preface this by saying, so I'm so far out of the desert scene, the desert racing scene. That was the first time at the UTV World Championship, that was the first time I ever set foot in the pits at a race.
Okay.
Ever. And I've been in the UTV scene since late 2014, so 5 years now. So I couldn't even believe it. I was like, holy crap, I've never been here. Like, I've never been in the pits before. And to see, like, all that stuff, the support mechanism that they have for all these different teams and stuff, I mentioned it a little bit on last week's show, was so crazy. And then to understand, like, how all these desert races work, and, you know, it's so awesome to see.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. When I went out there in the RS1, man, it was like a totally different race for me. Racing the Yamahas the past couple years, you just beat yourself up. It's like, how how good will my kidneys feel after the race? And that RS1 was like riding a couch, man. It was so awesome.
Yeah, no, once you get them set up, it's fun. It almost makes you giggle.
It really does,
you
right?
know, you start going through stuff, and you're like, I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
But it's going, and you're committed, and you're like, God, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's like working pretty good.
Yeah.
And you work on shocks and stuff a little bit too, so you know a little bit more about them than I do. But those guys at Shock Therapy, man, they really hook that thing up with those Fox RC2 shocks.
Yeah, no, they're definitely the industry leaders in the UTV shock setup and things of that sort. And
have you got to pull apart any of those Fox RC2 shocks yet?
No, I have not.
Dude, I don't know, man. Whatever they are, like, it's like a cushion. I think there's a couch inside of them.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of tricks you can do with different pistons and valving and different weights of oil. It's the same thing as our motocross days.
Yeah,
you know
sprinkle fairy dust in there.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, whatever it is, man, they got that thing working good. Like, we're gonna release a video sometime this week. That's kind of like a little recap of our day, my team's day, a little bit of the emotions that I went through during the race, and just have some fun with some helicopter footage that we got. It was just really cool, man. Like, being back at the races, being around people like what you were talking about was the best part, man. So let's talk with Myles Cheek. He's calling in right now. So, Myles, what's up, man?
What's going on, guys?
Oh, we're just hanging out. We just had some tacos, some chimichangas, you know, the whole Chef Cheek deal.
Oh, there you go.
How about you, man? What's going on? You just clinched your UTV NA Lucas Oil Off-Road Championship.
Oh, yeah, it feels good. Just put another trophy on the shelf, and we're going to be rocking that #1 plate next year, so super pumped on it.
Do you get to use the red background? Like, is that a thing in UTV racing?
Like, I remember my dad a while ago was pushing for, like, all the points leaders run like a red background on their number, kind of like the moto style stuff. But that didn't get too far.
Dude, maybe you should just do it. Just show up.
Right?
Show up with show up with like 2 sets of plates, like a white one, like just in case they get super mad at you. But I feel like the red would be sick.
Yeah, I think we can get like a 1 race provisional or something, right?
Yeah, and get all your media stuff for the whole year with that 1 race provisional. That'd be perfect.
All right.
Well, congratulations, man. Like, that's no small feat. The UTV class has been pretty competitive the last few years, and racing at the professional level in a UTV is nothing to be ashamed at, man. So, like, that's really cool that you're able to come home with the championship.
Yeah, it was a tough year, too. Or actually, it was a pretty solid year. It was my most consistent year I've had in a long time. I think our worst finish was just a 2nd place, so can't complain about that too much. No DNFs all year, so it was just a super consistent year. The new RS1 just runs so good. Like, little problems that we used to have, it's just like a total thing of the past now.
That is super cool. How long did it take to develop that car before you got to race it this year?
We had it just sitting there for probably a year, and our plan was just to build it into a works car forever. And it started coming together, and it started looking really good, and just started thinking, like, it's got the better diff in it, the better clutch. Like, why not just turn it into the short course car? So we did the 1 race in it last year at Firebird, and it was good, but it was just like we had no test time in it. So there was still like a bunch of stuff that we needed to do to it. Just even just like in the ECU tune, like just not everything was right on the car. So getting it all figured out this year, and the thing was flawless all year long.
Yeah, that's what one. Well, Joe and I have been talking about the growth and development of the UTV industry, and it's cool to see all of the racing stuff translate into the stuff that people can buy on the shelves. Like a couple things that I was going to say is, like, the RS1 that we built for the UTV World Championship, it only took 6 weeks to build it or whatever, right? And all of those products pretty much were like bolt-on, good to go. Yeah. But that's because of the stuff like people like Myles do to test and develop all these things in racing scenarios, because he was working on it for, let's just say, 6 months, 12 months, getting it perfected to be what it was now, so that all those parts can transition over to be good for us.
Correct. Yeah, no, there's a lot of homework that goes on behind the scenes to develop those products. And like say, Myles is trying out products, and if they don't work, well, the vendor will adjust and make it work, and that's what just keeps compiling and making for great parts and great racing.
Yeah, 100%. And just having like the understanding of the things that Myles and his crew do, like during the week and on the weekends and stuff like that, to be able to get the car out there, you can really trust that those products are going to be good when they hit the shelves. One of the things that was cool on the RS1 build is Myles' dad hooked us up with some quick release clutch cover bolts, or pins. Mm-hmm. Dude, those things were so rad.
Yeah, I know. Especially
it makes it so nice, huh?
Dude, it really did. And then I looked at an old video that we did when I filmed your car, and I saw that you guys took off that big hose that comes off the clutch cover to make it even easier, so I just copied you.
You just put that little outerwear on it?
Yeah, whatever it was, just that little filter, and I was like, yes, now I look cool like Myles.
Yeah, but it's just been like we've been running that Polaris for 3 years now, so it's just been all that knowledge from my dad, from all his background from the whole motor industry stuff, just translating over. So all those parts that he builds, like, he hates having to work on something after you buy it. So everything's just bolts right on. Everything's Sano. So
yeah, exactly. And I love the moto inspired like design and colors and stuff. It always looks so sweet.
Oh yeah, all the hard ano and stuff.
Yeah, it looks so good. Well, hey, so I was going to ask a couple questions. The first question I was going to say was, you had a pretty good year, right? But what were some of the hardest things that you had to overcome this year? Because I know that it didn't go perfectly smooth. No racing season ever does.
Yeah, like some of the problems that we thought we had figured out coming into the year, like, you don't like really know like what the car's going to do until you go out there and race it. Like, you can do all the testing you want, but once you get out there and you're banging with some other cars, you still don't know. So we were having little power steering problems and stuff, but that was just like the first couple of rounds, and we got that figured out pretty easily. Then besides that, it was just racing with Brock because he's so competitive too, and it's always fun racing with him because I know he's never going to do anything intentional or drive me dirty. It's always clean racing with him, but it's always probably the toughest battle on the track is always with him.
You guys have been racing together for a long time, though, so you kind of know your whole riding styles or driving styles. I know this, that, like, they always say that, like, about, I don't know, Cooper Webb and Justin Barsha, and they compare it in motocross. Like, I feel like that's what these, like, new kids are doing, like, coming up from UTVs or trophy carts into UTVs and then going up into the bigger trucks and stuff. Yeah. So it's pretty cool to see that because a lot of that stuff wasn't the same 10 years ago in off-road.
No, not at all. Like you just mentioned, the kids that are coming up to trophy carts. Those trophy carts are state of the art,
dude, and they're
awesome.
Fast.
They are.
Yeah.
And if a 12, 13-year-old learn how to drive like that,
yeah,
it's just going to progress. You know what I mean? And it's awesome to see. You know.
Do you think you could go, Myles? Do you think you could go as fast as some of these new kids in their trophy carts? Because I feel like they're ripping, dude.
Oh yeah, I think my generation of mod kart kids were pretty quick too. There was a ton of fast kids that came out of it. Like I was still racing when Sheldon was in it.
Oh yeah, you had
Mickey
some bad
Guthrie
dogs.
And Mitchell DeYoung. They were out of the Sheldon was still in the class when I won the championship at the time. Then Bradley was in it, Brock was in it, Travis Pecoy, Dickerson. There was a ton of fast kids.
Dude, yeah, you had some big dogs in there too.
Yeah.
I remember that. And Sheldon's been doing good in his NASCAR racing too, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, he's in. I'm not sure if it's the final 8 or final 4 for the Truck Series chase, but I know he's still in it.
That's pretty badass, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was leading the points when it was all started.
We asked you this, I think, when you did a show like early on. Maybe we didn't. What's if there was one other form of racing that you could try, what would it be?
Ooh.
I mean, dude, like we always preface it by saying, dude, you could drive like a ocean power boat or whatever they're called, like those longshore boats. You could drive like a monster truck. You could go like Formula One. You could do anything. I mean, even if it was mountain biking.
I've always wanted to do like the GT3 racing, like Le Mans style stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like more like the 24 hours of Daytona and all that. I always thought that stuff would be a lot of fun.
What car would you pick?
Oof, I like the Mercedes.
Dude, those ones are pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Those ones are pretty badass, man. So you had not very many hiccups this year, but you had some pretty good battles and things like that. Do you remember one race that, like, off the top of your head, that was your favorite race of the season?
Let's see. Like this last Friday, I ended up throwing it away and Brock ended up winning, but that last little bit of me putting pressure on Brock and we were just racing, that was a lot of fun.
Well, so let me interrupt you here. He says he threw it away, right? And he, like, dude, the score, the timing and scoring at the end was like 100th of a second. Like, that's how much the other Brock won by.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Both of them are super talented drivers. But
what did you do? You had to come back? You had to, like, regather yourself or what?
I was leading it, then right off the mandatory caution, I biked it up in turn 2, and he was able to get around me.
Oh.
Then after that, it was just I was trying, but I just couldn't get around him. But besides that, I had a lot of fun in Missouri. I really enjoy that track.
Have you ever seen that track,
me and Brock had.
I saw pictures of it. No, that's it, though.
There's some big-ass jumps on that track, man. Were you guys able to clear that big table this year?
Like 2 out of the 3 days I could. Like I could like just get the front tires over it one day, then the final 2 I could like just barely make it.
Dang. Because it's what, 120 feet or something? It's like pretty big.
Yeah, it's close to that.
Dude, it's full wood in a UTV. Like, as fast as you can go. Like, pro lights are barely getting it.
No kidding.
Yeah. So for Myles to say he can do it, like the turbo guys, I think they could do it pretty easy. But for Myles to say he could get over it, that means that because Myles can drive very well, so he was carrying a lot of momentum out of that corner. So that means that probably 80% of the field in the normally aspirated UTV class probably couldn't get it.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's cool.
It's pretty badass. So the best question or the biggest question of the whole season that I wanted to ask you, what was the best meal that you cooked for the boys in the pits?
Best meal of the year?
Yeah, best meal of the year.
Let's see. In Arizona, I did some pork shoulder and put it on the Traeger for like 4 hours, wrapped it up, put it on the Traeger for another 4 hours, and pulled it apart, turned it into some pulled pork tacos.
Yeah.
That's pretty darn good.
That was pretty good. That was probably my favorite one. So I did that. That was my first time doing it, actually, and ever since then, I think I made 3 of them since the Arizona race.
Dang. So you're basically hooked now?
Oh, dude, I love it. It's so good.
That was pretty cool to see you out there slanging the spatulas and stuff when I went to Arizona. So that whole, are you smarter than a third grader that we started? I think you guys were the first crew. You and Trevor were the first people to play that game. It's pretty much taken off like wildfire. It's like getting to be way bigger. It's way bigger than the Dirt Life Show podcast. So this, are you smarter than a third grader, is like the next level stuff.
I saw the clips from out there at the UTV World Championships with Caden asking the questions.
Yeah, that was pretty fun, dude.
It was comedy.
You should have seen how bad some of the people choked, man. It was awesome.
Can only imagine.
It was
it's
pretty.
Like such simple questions, but they just catch you off guard.
Yeah, especially when you have a camera in your face and somebody just like me just comes up and bombards you with them.
Oh yeah, but that's a good segment for sure.
Well, we really appreciate you coming on and talking to us about your championship, man. I know that there was a whole bunch of little things that happened during the year that you can be appreciative for, but I know that you got a really good team, your crew guys, everybody that really helped you out, man. So it's not just Myles driving. You have a big crew that's a supporting mechanism for the whole championship.
Yeah, for sure. It's my dad. He's 24/7 always thinking about it. Then my crew chief, Tim, I think he's hands down the best crew chief out there. Like, I know it's just a UTV, but he like every time we go out to the track, I think it's the best looking car there for sure.
Dude, he's always got that thing looking so crispy and everything spins perfect. Like you could lean on his car, and if it's in neutral, you'll just fall over because it'll just roll away. It's so nice.
Myles, Myles, going towards 2021. Any changes to the race schedule for next year, or you gonna stick with the same plan?
Still up in the air right now. I've been thinking about that Texas series a lot. I like that payout that they're doing.
Yeah, who doesn't like? Well, they said this year was $40,000. They said next year it's supposed to be double. I don't know if that's true. Like, don't hold me to that. But like, could you imagine winning a UTV championship and getting paid, let's just say $60,000-$80,000?
Yeah, that would be
insane.
That'd help a lot.
That's a yearly paycheck, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's
right. I'll just move to Texas.
Exactly. Well, and plus, in Texas, you'd be living like a king.
Oh yeah.
That is pretty cool, though, and I guess that goes back to what we were talking about, Joe. Like the whole growth of the industry is just insane.
Yeah. No, it's the competition in the UTV class is just as same as what it is in Pro 2 and Pro 4 and Pro Light. You know,
sometimes I think it might even be bigger.
Because it's a.
I mean, it's not as fast.
Limited Pro. No, but it's still. I mean, you come down to hundredths of a second.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's amazing.
Have you ever Myles? Have you ever looked at to see how much different? Maybe look at the Pro Light lap times, look at the Pro 2 lap times, and see how much difference they have between you guys.
Every once in a while, I'll be pretty close with the Pro Lights and stuff. But it's usually like I have a perfect track and their track's a little sloppy or something.
Oh.
But I would say on average they're probably faster about 2 seconds.
So yeah,
maybe a second and a half.
That's not much though when you think about a 45 to a minute track. Like that's still pretty close, dude. Mm-hmm. Like back in the Rhino days, it would be like
I think
seconds.
I think at Missouri, one of the turbo UTVs had like the fastest lap of the day or something.
No way. Really?
Seriously. Yeah, it was like I think it was like the Thursday practice day or something.
Probably because they could cut so quick going through some of those infield sections because they got some pretty tight sections on there. I bet you that UTV made up a lot of ground on those big trucks. Like if you were to do like a ghost lap or whatever, like a computer lap, I bet you that's where they gained most of their time. Because going down those straightaways, there's no way they could keep up. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and just like the 4-wheel drive coming off those tight corners too.
Yeah, 4-wheel drive is like cheating, dude.
The braking is you brake way later and your acceleration is way quicker and it's a lot lighter. You know what I mean? It's 1,500 pounds versus 4,000.
Yeah, exactly. You know? So, well, yeah, like I said, Myles, congratulations on the championship. That's pretty badass, dude. We're stoked for you.
Thank you guys so much.
So, all right, what's on the menu for this week then? What do you got cooking for the family since you got to celebrate this week?
Oof, I don't know. We haven't planned out anything too much. My mom just cooked dinner tonight. She did some pork chops and some stuff, but I don't know. Maybe we'll do a tri-tip later on in the week or something.
Are you going to do like a celebration dinner this coming weekend since you're not going to be at the track?
We had one last Sunday or yesterday with the crew.
Ooh,
we went out
nice.
to a little steakhouse around here.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, dude. All right. So, yeah, like I said, man, congratulations on the championship. That's really cool. Thank you very much for inviting me into your pits when we were at Wild Horse. I had a good time with you guys, and obviously just seeing you guys was pretty amazing to get back to racing. So, again, congratulations.
Thank you, guys. And, of course, anytime, you're always welcome in our pit, George.
Thanks, homie. We'll see you guys soon.
All right. Thank you.
Later.
Have a good one.
Later.
Every time I hang up with him or talk to him in the pits, like I always think to myself, God, what a good composed kid he is. Like really just a good kid. You know what I mean? Like, so he goes out there and races. Then he's a chef for the whole crew and the whole team, but he's not just making sandwiches. Like he's going like
tri-tip and pulled for. Yeah, no, it's well, and part of that I feel is why he's in the championship. You know, in the championship ranks, he's got a cool head. He doesn't race with a hot head. You know what I mean?
100%. And he's keeping the crew guys happy with the most important part, right?
For sure,
dude. So talk about what do you call it? Moral inspiration.
Yeah.
Everybody's bellies are full. They're going up to the starting line, all sweet. Do we have any comments coming in? Yeah, Yamaha guys are pissed. Yeah, unfortunately. So Myles drives that Polaris Razor RS1, and there was. I don't know, 90% of the field is Yamaha, so it is unfortunate. I know that in 2021 there might be a couple more Yamahas that go out there that give them a run for the money in the championship. It's just cool to see how much competitiveness is going on in the UTV classes, even in the turbo class, man. We haven't got to all the comments yet, but thank you very much, Mike, for the comment. Great job in Havasu, George. You slayed it. I appreciate it. We were going a little bit slower than I had actually wanted to. Like, I feel like I could have pushed it a little bit more. But what? Hindsight's 20/20 every race, right? I was leading until I broke. Like, you know, like it's one of those things. And we finished the race. That's what matters. We came home with an eighth place finish in the I don't know what I think it's a production normally aspirated class. And I think there was probably 20 or 30 guys out there, so we did a decent job. My lap times were pretty fast, and out of all, I think it was around 70 cars, 60, 70 cars that were on track, we came home 19th. So
that's not bad at all.
Dude, check this out, though. This is going to blow your mind. So my number has always been 19 on my dirt bike.
Oh, yeah. Got
number 19 when we raced side-by-sides.
Yep.
I got 19th place overall, 19 months to almost the day that I had my accident.
Yeah.
And I got hurt when I was 19 years old.
Wow.
Like, dude, what the, like, I started thinking about it and I like got chills because I was like, this is creepy. Like,
trying to go buy a lotto ticket or something.
Dude, yeah, right? Like, so I wonder if that happens to other people, man. And yeah, we had a couple of other comments that I can't see those on YouTube there. Can you see them, Joe?
Trailblazer.
The Kerri and Oren show. Yep, it's the Kerri and Oren show. So we're going to get them on the line here in just a little bit. But before we do, like I said, I want to thank all our sponsors and thank you guys for joining us. So we really appreciate it. We're going to go to a commercial break in just a second here. And actually, let's just go right now. We'll be right back with Kerri and Oren. See you in a sec.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period. Yeah, finally, we got Lance from Solder Weld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I've been trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like, let's say, a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up.
You can patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah, also as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel, and then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything, so that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
it's
the
like a first
truck.
aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, chase trucks have it as well, so that if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solder Weld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we are back. Man, it's already kicking off to be a great show, episode 60 of the Dirt Life Show, and we'd like to welcome Kerri and Oren. They are the owners of Track Trail Offroad. I can't really figure out how to say Kerri's last name. Oren's last name is Anderson, so we're going to have to ask her about that. But they live their dirt life like nobody's business, man. Kerri actually works on vehicles herself. She probably could teach Oren a thing or two. Oren is a fantastic co-driver. He's been in the off-road industry for a long time. I know him. I think I actually shook his hand one time at Kmc Curry's shop back in the day. Joe knows him from
going back to the Lucas Oil stuff with Kmc Curry and all them.
Yeah, and even continuing on with the Bryce Menzies program.
Correct.
So we would like to welcome Oren Anderson and Kerri
Romanisyzn.
Oh, okay. To the show. Thank you guys very much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having us. This is a super cool deal, and it's excited to kind of talk dirt life with buddies and race family and stuff like that. So it's cool.
When was the last time you guys actually got to, I think, Mint 400 maybe, or Vegas to Reno, when you guys actually got to hang out with your dirt family?
Yeah, Vegas to Reno was the last run for us, and that was a good run for us. But, with everything, the way the world is working right now, it was, after the race, it was a load up and get out. So we didn't get as much time to hang out with everyone as we'd like. But it was still great to go out and race and spend some time in the desert.
Yeah, totally. I can definitely agree with that, man. Like I said, with the UTV World Championship, it was just so awesome seeing everybody. Even if I got last place, I would have been totally fine seeing everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's everybody's such a good, happy family, and we're all having fun together and
living our dirt life.
You got it. Exactly.
Exactly.
So we're going to get into it in a little bit and kind of get your guys' backstory. But, like, on a daily basis, what do you guys usually do at Track Trail Offroad?
Herd cats? Is that good?
Yeah, it's like herding cats, but herdsmen. But no, we've got a really good thing going here. We're just north of Daytona Beach, Florida, in Ormond Beach. So we do a lot of Jeep stuff, just kind of an anything off-road customized shop. Right now, the Jeeps have been very popular, but we like doing truck stuff and side-by-sides as well.
So you do get to work on side-by-side stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different. The East Coast vibe is a little different than the West Coast as far as, side-by-sides. I think out there is more, what shock tune and what suspension package is going to help me go 85 miles an hour through knee-deep whoops. Over here, it's how big of portals do I need to turn these 42-inch track tires through 6 feet of water. So it's different, but still enthusiasts.
So Joe and I don't think have ever gotten to experience, I don't want to say mud life, but so like the portals and all those bigger tires and stuff like that. But I do see a commonality between all of these guys. Like, all of them are listening to good music. All of them are having, getting hydrated as much as possible. And everybody is laughing and smiling the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's just the whole dirt life. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, I think over there it's mud life, though, right?
Yeah, no, and it's funny. He says that. I have a customer that just dropped off a car last week.
Yeah.
He bought his. It's a Polaris RZR 2-seater.
Mm-hmm.
He had bought it from some gentleman in Illinois.
Okay.
And it's a rock crawler, mud car, got portals on it. It's
even in Illinois.
Completely different from what we have here, and it's kind of. It's a little bit of a challenge, but it's fun. I enjoy it.
Teaching Joe a new trick.
Oh man, this thing is he's got rock tires on it and all kinds of good stuff, but it's cool.
We already had a comment coming in from it looks like Laura Mack. She said, "Hi Kerri and Oren, we love you guys and miss you."
Yeah, we got a good family support group back here on the East Coast.
Yeah,
and on the West.
Oh, I don't know if this is who's saying this. I mean, I think Kerri's probably gonna have something to say about this. But Kelly Corey says Oren is so cute. So,
fanboys.
Joe, do you know who Kelly Corey is?
I don't know. If I saw her face, probably.
It's a he.
See?
Yeah, so you don't know who that person is, do you?
No.
He acts like a girl, but no. Kelly actually navigated for Mark Post and Jerry Welchel and Rob.
Okay.
he worked at Riviera Racing for a very long time, so he's actually, one of the first people I got to know working for that team and stuff like that. He's one of the most terrible pranksters that he's the worst kind, because you wouldn't suspect it from him, because he's usually nice and quiet, but he is never short on the comments on social media and stuff like that.
Oh, he's one of those. Okay, well, Kelly, you're feel free to keep commenting in, because we'll just pass along whatever goodness you have, and we'll see what happens, bud. Yeah, and then Janet Kraft says, Kerri and Oren, hi. So it's really cool to actually see these comments coming in. I love when shows get the interaction like this, because it means that you really do have a lot of people that care about you, and clearly living your dirt life has been, able to make a lot of friends. We have that with a lot of our guests, but since you guys are, we'll call it dirt life teammates, you guys probably get double the friends, right?
I mean, it's nice because they're all shared friends.
Yeah.
It's not like one for the other group. It's just one big group.
Yeah.
Do you ever go home being like, oh, that person likes me, not you, sorry?
I feel like all the time.
Yeah.
I lose. I always lose.
Yeah, right. Every time we hang out with people, they just tell me that I'm around because she's around. So it doesn't matter. Steve Menzies tells me that all the time, that I'm only there. So.
Well, that's good that you guys can all laugh and do fun stuff like that. So while we have everybody that's listening to the show right now, one of the coolest things that I wanted to just get out of the way so we can talk off-roading is that you guys truly do live your dirt lives. You even, at the Mint 400 this year, proposed to Kerri while you guys were dirty on the podium.
That's true. I did. I learned early on in this relationship that she was not a sunset or pretty white sand beach or mountaintop proposal kind of girl. She's into the racing stuff as much, if not more, than I am. So that's where our off-road family is at. That's as important to us as our blood family. So to have as many of those people together as we could in one spot, and then to do it where, luckily we had a good run, so it wasn't like proposing in the parking lot of Prim Valley broke down.
Did you tell Bryce, were you sitting in the passenger seat, co-driving, and just saying, Bryce, we got to go, we got to conserve the truck, man. I got to make it up onto the stage.
Luckily, Bryce is really good at setting a, not just a finishing pace, but a really fast finishing pace. But it was like the last speed section coming back to Prim, where there's like 5 miles of the race left, and we're just cruising along, and it's dark, and he just leans over and goes, "Oh, you got to be nervous, man. This is gotta
For sure.
I'm nervous for you." And it was just cool to share that moment. But no, luckily, like I said, he was driving the wheels off that thing, but the whole Menzies team does a great job of making sure that truck stays together, and we got her there.
Hey, so Joe, you could probably agree with this. I'll put it in perspective a little bit. So Oren makes it sound like it's easy, right? So they're probably doing 80 miles an hour in a trophy truck, and he's telling Oren that Oren's the nervous guy, why he's driving 80 miles an hour in a trophy truck through bumps and stuff. That's a pretty good dirt life story right there, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, it's tough. There's so much work that both of them, the navigator and the driver, are doing that it's nice to be able to have that bond between driver and navigator. Like I said, you're doing 80, 90, 100 mile an hour, and you're just having a conversation.
About how nervous he is for his proposal?
Correct. At the end of a 400-mile race, and you're both tired, and you're dirty, and but it's the light at the end of the tunnel. You can see it, and you got to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to start talking about some of the stuff that you guys do, but how was it coming up? You finish the race, you come through the finish line, and you're like, okay, now it's go time. What's the next step for Oren? Is he like, where's she at?
Yeah. It was definitely that, that kind of, obviously the butterflies in the gut, but there's so much stuff going on. I think that actually helped,
right.
The whole team, we're just trying to get a team picture and get everyone up there, and just all of our friends that are finishing around us. And I was really lucky. My mom was able to make it out to that as well. So, and it's like, all right, where's mom at? She's 5 foot tall. She's hard to spot in a crowd. So that was some work, but it was all things that kind of helped take the real pressure out of it. So finally, it was just the window popped up where I could, drag her up there and try to keep it as much a surprise as possible. And, Bryce was standing up there with me for a picture, and he just ducked out and kind of gave me the.
He's like, all right, the stage is yours, buddy. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was cool. And I was super lucky. She actually said yes. She didn't run off and got to the desert. It was good.
Oh, man, that is awesome. Yeah, she didn't throw mud in your face and bail out.
Yeah, hop in the truck and leave me up there by myself.
We had a couple more comments come in that says, Oren and Kerri, genuinely awesome people. They officiated my wedding. I can't wait for theirs. That was from Krista. Tabby was the one that sent in the other one. And, Joe has lots of Code Dog stories, too. It's actually pretty funny that there's a lot of similarities that you guys share, isn't there? Like you and Oren. But let's save those. Make sure we come back to those because I want to talk to Kerri a little bit, too. So we're going to just finish up the proposal, and then we're going to talk about off-roading. So did you have any idea that this was happening? Like any idea, like any inclination?
I had no idea because we had, obviously we've talked about it, but it was like, all right, well, he's successfully just played it, we've just kind of played it like, oh, well, that'll be a later thing. We're like, when it doesn't involve our, the chaos of the dirt life, we have a tendency to just put it off. So that was just kind of my mindset too. So when he did it, I was like, oh my, how did you pull that off? He did so good. I could not have even imagined it being any better, which again, I can't believe I didn't even get something. I mean, I figured he'd blow it somewhere.
So I always feel like the total giveaway is, how did you measure her finger, and how did you do it too with the Yesenia, Joe? Like, how do you know the size? Like, where do you get the size from? Because I know my tricks that I did, but how did you guys get them?
I just kind of gave it a wild guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang, dude, did your wild guess work out?
No, but that's all right. It wasn't about that. It was more, on the whole deal.
How did you do it, Oren?
Joe, was it too big or too small?
It was too small, actually.
Okay, so I went in there and I just said, give me the biggest band you fit.
That's the funniest part about that is, first off, I have gigantic feet, so I don't know if maybe he just assumed my ring size would be huge, but it would not have fit on my big toe. So I on my finger, and I was like clutching my fingers together as tight as I could so I didn't whip it across the stage, but that thing was nowhere near it. It was so funny. And he's just like, I don't know, I just told him to give me the biggest one they had.
Yeah, apparently they got big-fingered women out there.
You could fit a silver dollar through it.
Yeah. I should have checked. When it didn't fit on my hand, I should have known I went too far, but I wouldn't get a chance at.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad we got to start off the show with that happy time for you guys. It was really cool to see that stuff that you guys posted on social media. That was one of the catalysts, actually, to get me to understand who you guys were as a team. And obviously, I've seen you around a couple times, Oren, I think at arm's length, but it was neat to be able to see that, man. Like, I couldn't have been more happy for you guys, and I don't even know you guys that much, so it's awesome.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
What did you think about when you saw it, Joe?
It's cool. It's hard to do that. Being from a male, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Male perspective, I guess you would say. But when, like, the relationship that you guys have working together and the whole dirt life and everything together, it's two peas in a pod. It just kind of happens, and it's, there's no challenge about it. No, that just happens, and it's great. I
guess that's a good transition to fast forward into it. How's it like driving to work every day together?
So you say driving to work, but it's driving to work. It's all day at work. It's home from work. It's dinner. It's like you really get to know each other. I mean, there's no secrets. There's no
correct.
Nothing's off limits. I mean, and I think it's, had you told me before we started dating that I would be with somebody like nonstop 24/7 and it would work out, I would have told you no way. But I think it just, with the right person, it just clicks and you can get away with that. I mean, if I'm working here till 4 a.m., she's here till 4 a.m. Like if we're if we're, crazy late night projects, 7 days a week, we're in it, and it's like a real team. And that part, I really appreciate, because, she's not only is she into it, but she's helpful, right? She's actually she's like a very valuable part of this team. Like, I don't think I could do it with anyone else, guy or girl. So it's cool to get to do that together and accomplish stuff and still go out racing and go on adventures with friends, or, overlandy kind of stuff. It's just, it's a truly is, awesome that we get to do this much stuff together.
Yeah, it is cool, and it's cool to see that that you guys can do that. So there's a couple things that I wanted to say, and the first one is that I know that Kerri is like a really awesome person to work with, because she was like the level of detail and stuff that she did in the couple emails that we had and conversations that we had before the show to get them on the show. I was like, dude, like, I need to hire her. Like, maybe they can move to Arizona, because like she kicks ass at work. And then the other thing I was going to say is the reason I said driving to work together was because I wanted to follow up by saying driving home too, because you said work until 4 a.m. But I guarantee you guys have had a shitty day at the shop and been like, oh, this drive home is going to suck. But somehow it just keeps working, right?
It does, and then sometimes it just turns into no drive home, and we end up just sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, stay here. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, I might try it, and bottle something up and just put it aside, but she never lets that happen. There is no bottling it up and saving it for later or hoping it goes away. We just deal with it at the time it happens, and then try and move on from there.
That's cool. Well, let's get, I'll ask each single question, and maybe you guys could, Kerri can start and then Oren can answer them. But what was the things that literally got you guys to start, maybe growing up in the dirt? Like, where did the dirt life start for you guys when you guys were younger?
So the dirt life started here. I was born and raised here. Obviously,
And that's in Florida, right?
And that's in Florida, yep, Ormond Beach. So I originally thought, okay, well, I'm going to do something in motorsports. I thought being in the Daytona area, it would be NASCAR. And then the more I got involved with that, the more I realized it would be so little to do with the actual racing side of it that I just started to grow away from that. And I always watched the short course off-road on TV. And as soon as I graduated college, I sent out my resumes and then got hired on with the sanctioning body. So that just turned into and just snowballed from there. I ended up doing organizing some rallies and then doing the off-road series, and then ended up doing Red Bull Global Rallycross, and then doing some Nitro Circus stuff here and there. So it just kind of
before that, like your high school time.
Oh, before that we were in the woods.
She was
in the woods, 4-5. I was kind of yeah.
From the pictures I've seen, she was the chick that had the toolbox in the back of her pickup truck, and she had a bunch of shackles and recovery ropes. So people would call her when they'd get stuck, go out there to help her friends, like, get out of the swamp or out of the woods, trails, and all that stuff.
Okay, so this is not a product pitch or anything, but this is a perfect time to introduce this. So our buddies at Solder Weld that help out the show, they make these they're like an emergency off-road repair kit. I don't know how good you guys can see it, but it's basically like a first aid kit. It's just a little bit bigger than my hand. You can see it, but you can keep these on board in anything, and you can repair or bond any type of metal with these things. So it's like welding on the trail kind of thing. All you need is a little map gas thing. So we always keep these on board when we do a race, or even when we go out trail riding and stuff. And I wanted to just introduce it to you guys, not, like I said, not a product pitch, but I think it'd be cool for some of the stuff that you guys do and some of the stuff that your guys' friends do, because it's exactly exactly what Kerri would do with her truck when she started.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a good time.
Listen, at one point, I think I even had, I have a 12-foot CB antenna, they call them the whip antennas. I don't know if that was even a thing out west, but it was here.
Nope. Oh, it was
and
not.
Oren was like, what the hell is that? I'm like, it's for my CB. Duh. And he's like, what? What?
Are you a trucker?
Kerri got the ham radio?
Yeah. Like I said, it was, there's still, it's all enthusiasts either side of the country. It's just sometimes the gear is a little different.
Correct. Now, Kerri, was your family involved in the off-road stuff as you were growing up, or did you just have a niche for it?
No, I mean, my grandfather he was always big into hot rods, stuff like that. I definitely got into that side of it from him, but my family, my dad played for the New England Patriots. They were all about sports. They're dedicated to that. That's what I was all the way until it got me through college. But I just got to a certain point where it was like, all right, it's time for, I wanted to be into racing. I wanted to race at least something, so it was like, all right, now's the time. So kind of a little bit growing up around it, but mostly just kind of just started to become,
That's pretty cool.
So
a hobby.
does that mean that you did race then?
No, it's
We've competed like 36 hours of URA, which is like an overland challenge, and she did a bunch of the driving stuff in that.
Who won?
We split. Huh?
You mean competed against each other, or you guys competed together?
We are a team, like in the same vehicle. It's more like a Jeep off-roading challenge, but a lot of the driving stuff, that she was doing a ton of that driving stuff. She'd be she'd be on behind the wheel of a side-by-side or something like that, and that's hopefully in the not too distant future, but just hasn't happened yet.
Dude, that's
Neat.
cool.
Neat.
Well, I know you guys have a bunch of ins with side-by-side guys, but if for whatever reason you guys want a side-by-side to rip around and practice racing, feel free to hit me up. I'd love to have you guys check it out. So,
Thank you.
what about if you guys go to K1 Speed? Who's winning?
Oof, that's tough. I used to think it'd be me, but she's real aggressive. And, like, there's no saying that I'd make it out of turn one in one piece. But that's like how she gets in anything. Everything turns into a competition, whether it's just jet skiing, stand-up jet skiing, or anything we do. It's never just for fun. It always ends up getting super competitive. So, like, we'll go to Top Golf, but I don't know if I'll go to a go-kart track with her because I don't want. I don't want to know what's gonna happen if we go there.
Dude,
we had a little tricycle. How many cc tricycle was that thing?
Our friend's got a gas-powered drift tricycle, like down the street. So it's the stupid PVC wheeled gas-powered 360 machine. So even that, like, we can't even go have fun on that without it turning like, all right, well, I bet I could do 2 360s in a row. All right, well, I'm taking the governor off. I'll do 3 360s, and it's where by the end of it, we're both hurt. It's not even fun anymore. It's just
a freestyle competition in a go-kart?
always.
Hey, well, she did work for Nitro Circus, so she at least knows more than you about freestyle stuff, right?
For sure. I won't argue that.
So we had a couple more comments come in that say, can't be around Oren without laughing. And then Terry Mims said, it's a Florida cracker thing. Right, Kerri? I don't know what that means, but...
It sure is.
So, do you remember? I think we went for your birthday. We went to K1 Speed, and we had like 10 dudes out there just battling hard.
And that was just, like you said, it just turned into old motocross days, just wheel to wheel.
Well, I know that at one point, like, somebody got clean air, and they got like the top 3 of the month, like lap time. So we knew we were fast, but the rest of the time, it was just bumper cars the whole time.
Just drifting and just, it was good times.
Play that line of not getting kicked out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the whistle's getting blown and you're getting pointed at some point, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what got you into the dirt life, Oren? Did you have family and stuff?
My dad used to race like desert races back in the 70s. So he was doing Barstow to Vegas and all that stuff. I'd say more for his own personal goals. It was never to like make a living at it, but he just liked to race. So, we got into dirt bikes and stuff like that really early on. And he also loved going to Baja. So we would go and take a sketchy, 28-foot open trailer with a truck camper balanced on the front and a bunch of 3-wheelers and quads down to Mexico when I was 2. So, it wasn't on the competitive side, but, me and my brothers grew up doing, really living the dirt life almost every weekend. So that was really cool. And then I went to San Clemente High School, and there's a pretty good off-road community down there, and a lot of really talented desert race, veterans live in that area. And Jeff Lewis, who was a factory Chevy Team McPherson team member for a very long time, he lived there and opened up a shop, and I just started going there and volunteering after high school. And then that grew into racing with my friends, the Harden family, and then from there meeting the Riviera guys and asking if I could come help them clean up at the shop, and then that it just kept growing. But it was just a slow progression over the last 30-something years.
You guys can probably get along with this too, and Joe, I know Joe already does, but we have a bunch of younger kids that either come on the show or they chime into the show, and we see them at the races just like you guys do, and they always ask, like, how can I get into racing, or how can I get into doing stuff? And Oren just brought up a good point. Like, he knew that lending his time to these teams was invaluable, right? Because it does two things. It first of all teaches you everything you need to know, but that's the simple part, right? Establishing these relationships with these people is the most crucial part and the best part about the whole thing, because now you're really creating value for the rest of your life.
Correct. And you're investing your own time to go, volunteer and help out with somebody, and those people see that. You know, they see that you're, this kid just did high school all day long, and now he's coming over here to sweep up the floors and stuff. And he wants to be here, and that shows.
Or you can actually look at it on the from Kerri's perspective too, because she didn't go at least in the story she told us, she didn't go sweep the shops or learn how to weld. And she was out there on trail helping these people.
Sure.
And actually doing it that way. So if there are younger kids listening to this episode, take note and understand that they really had passion for it, just like you guys probably do, and they went out and just started knocking on doors and just making sure that things happened for them that they were passionate about. So just follow what you guys are happy with. Oh, here's a good one. Patrick Flint commented in and says, "Pappy says hi. Proud to see you two doing great in the off-road sport."
Patrick's another local friend that probably one of the nicest guys in the world. Just really cool to see him watching this and hanging out. It's kind of late back here, so.
Well, what I'm thinking here is I'm kind of sensing a little bit of a trend. So we got all these people commenting in, guys and gals. I'm thinking that the local go-kart track after this episode is going to get real competitive over there in Florida.
Yeah. Yep.
I love the local go-kart track. Our local go-kart track is right outside these doors.
It's just out front. The street of the shop.
So that's even better, man.
Yep.
So you guys can have some hydration afterwards too, or maybe before.
Yeah, I like that hydration. Yeah. Just gotta have some hydration. Good, I think, yeah. So
all right, so we kind of got a little bit of the backstory and understood that you guys obviously put in a good amount of work to start living your dirt lives the way that you wanted to. What was kind of maybe the next step that you went down, Kerri? You were out there on the trail helping fix people's cars, and obviously you were having fun. You were still, we'll call it trail riding or off-roading. And what was the next thing that you did? Because you're, got to start making money at some point, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, I got a degree in sport management. So in my mind, it was always kind of motorsport management. So after that, like I said, I just got in touch with the sanctioning bodies and kind of started from there, and then it slowly just kind of progressed into a career, and realizing how much I loved the racing side of it. But I had always in the back of my mind wanted to do something like an off-road shop, like build, in my mind at the time, may have been mud trucks. what has grown into mega truck racing, which that's a different conversation.
Is that the same as Jim Weining's truck, the mud trucks?
In the late 80s and early 90s.
Is that the same thing that she's talking about?
Very similar, yeah. We used to mud race a lot when I was growing up, with the big 54-inch tire and
but
things of that sort.
The real skinny tires,
correct,
right?
Correct. And
what motor do you guys have in those things? Huge big blocks?
Yeah, they were big block motors and alcohol injected and all that stuff. But it was.
How'd you guys keep transmissions in them?
Same.
You didn't.
Yeah, you didn't.
Really?
You just kept building, and it's just just like everything else in the racing industry, off-road industry, people keep getting better at doing different things and better materials and better products, and eventually you do good. But
do you have any pictures from those days, Kerri?
Oh yeah.
I would love for you to send me a couple so we could post them online.
All right.
That would be super cool to see that. And because I know that a lot of people that are in our audience don't know about those trucks or about that type of racing because, well, it's older, right? Like, I don't know. Do they still do it over there or no?
Yeah, the mega, what they call mega trucks are just, it's exactly what Joe was explaining. They're just big motor, big horsepower, super tall like tractor tires, and they haul ass. They hit some big tabletops, big flatlander jumps. It's almost like monster truck stuff on skinny tires. Like they're fast. They're wild, man. They're crazy to watch.
The ones I remember were like just like a metal strut for a shock, though. Like now they're like have shocks and like big shocks and stuff.
Oh yeah. No, the mega trucks like back east and all that. They got top of the line shocks and coilovers, and it's
you got to send me some pictures. I got to see this.
But you just got to come out and go to one of the events with us.
That would be neat. I'd love to do that. That'd actually be cool.
But he's hydrating. Everyone is so wild.
And it's all in the mud.
That's cool.
Everybody in ATVs, UTVs, trucks,
So not only are they hydrating their internals, they're hydrating their externals too.
It's good for the skin.
Yeah. Good exfoliation. All healthy. It's all healthy.
We had a couple more comments come in that Tabby Kelly said, "Nah, it's going to be Jeep races." Well, dude, if it's going to be Jeep races with bumper cars, that's going to be expensive. You guys are going to have a busy week fixing everybody's stuff afterwards at the shop.
Like, we got a fleet of customer vehicles in here right now, so we'll just work it into the build.
So we're going to start getting into this a little bit here, but Louis Zavas says, so stoked to see Oren and Kerri under their own roof. A lot of sacrifices to get where he is, or to get where they are. So that is actually one of the points that I want to talk about. It's a little further in our conversation, but let's just talk about it now. Like, nobody understands how a business gets started unless they're in the business, right? So, when I look at it from an outside standpoint, it looks like you guys have a successful Jeep and truck company that, you have fun on the weekends and stuff like that. Maybe you guys could give us a little bit of the backstory to help us understand. Like, Kerri kind of gave us a little bit of the business side and her degree and stuff, but Oren, you put in a lot of work to be able to get this point. And then what was the next step when you guys met to start this thing?
I mean, I'm trying to think that, she definitely brought the business side to the table, and that's been tremendously helpful. I had a decent amount of years of experience doing, off-road vehicles and kind of knowing what I thought was, correct and functional and safe and driving good. So, it just was something we kicked around about, just, having our own, kind of controlling our own destiny. I mean, I'm very fortunate to have worked for all the people that I work for, and, the Currys and all the people that really helped me kind of get the confidence and the connections to, kind of go out on our own. And then it was just a combination of that, and then coming and visiting Florida, and it's so different than, California or Arizona, Nevada, but there's still so many enthusiasts. It's just like, I don't want to say it's an untapped market, because there's a lot of good stuff happening out here, but to be able to kind of bring what we've learned on the desert racing side, the short course side, to this environment, and kind of show the way and why we do things. It's just been really cool, like just seeing the way the local, like everyone around here has kind of reacted to that and responded to it. And it was just one of those things where, before that we talked about it for a while, like, oh, it'd be cool to do, but is that a reality? And it was finally just, Kerri going, let's do it. Like, go tell them this is what you want to do, and let's start pushing for this. And then that just started this snowball of, people, companies that we've known for 15 years on the race side being very supportive and wanting to expand out this way a little bit. And, just an opportunity for us to, try and make it on our own, which, we knew that wasn't guaranteed. We probably didn't sleep for like 3 weeks before we packed it all up and moved out here, because it's just like, I mean, it's a step. My hat's off to anyone that starts up their own deal, but it's a bunch of work.
Especially across the country. That's tough. I really look up to you guys for doing it. That's neat.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And so, like, what he's saying, like, the first thing that I see is, like, it's like a new horizon, right? Or like a new perspective on how to do things. And maybe it's different than the way that people are doing it out there in Florida. I mean, well, even Oren's probably not used to portals. So, excuse me. Maybe you could backtrack a little bit, though, Oren, too. And while you were doing or learning the different things, you built or had a part in building some of the pretty successful race trucks that were in the short course series and in the desert series. One of the ones that I know that you and I talked about, I think you helped build the first V8 Pro Light that won the Torque Championship, right?
So I always was on more of like the prep side of it.
Okay.
Actually, Louis Zavas, the guy that commented, he was heavily involved on the like fabrication side of that truck. I mean, that was, that was just a really cool time when the V8s were just coming out in Pro Light, and to kind of see that grow into like, what it is now. I mean, the 4-cylinder days were great, but I don't miss that one bit. But how fast it started progressing after the V8, switch over went. I mean, that was really fun to be a part of. And yeah, for a few years after that, Casey was super successful and very competitive in that. And it was fun to be on that edge of, that was like new stuff coming out. New people were trying new things with drivetrain and, just silly stuff. It was so limited that everyone was finding that gray area, right? Like,
right.
How far can we put this before we get in trouble? So that was really fun to be a part of and kind of experiment with. Well,
then I had mentioned this briefly in the phone conversation I had before with you guys, but so I had no idea like off-road or short course racing existed until about maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And the reason that I found out about it was because of Casey Kerri. I actually got injured and I started a computer business, and I was helping build Casey Kerri's websites and helping him with media stuff. And through that time, I was like, man, these I've seen pictures obviously because I'm uploading them and doing stuff on the computer, and I'm like, man, these things look pretty cool. And then I went out to a Lucas race and I saw it, and I'm like, dude, this is like motocross but with 4 wheels. And Casey was obviously doing well. And so I said, hey, like, what is this off-road deal about? And I asked him about it, and he said, well, come out to Anaheim at the time. And I went to the shop when it was in the backyard in Anaheim Hills, and he had just put the red number plates on that V8 Pro Light from the Torque series. No fenders or nothing, and I'm sure that you actually prepped it. He let me take it out to the desert in California, and I got to drive it for the first time. So that's what got me hooked into the off-road racing stuff, was just that little chance thing, right? And we talk about the off-road industry being super small and everybody kind of knowing each other. I didn't know Oren at the time, but now it seems like he probably touched a truck before I got in it.
Oh, sure.
It's just cool that, this sport and this, what we like to do, there's so many memories like that, right? Like off-roading usually has some pretty unforgettable things happen. Usually it's good times and you got your heart racing, you remember all that, but it's just so cool to be able to, like, there's memories I've had at short course races where Joe's been at that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. You've got that. So cool to be able to build those memories. And that group, like, sure, it's spread out over the country, but I mean, we've bumped into great off-road people here. I mean, we've bumped into people on the east coast of the country that try and go every year down to Baja to go either ride, race on a bike, or they're going down to volunteer for their uncle's best friend's, 6100 truck. It's just awesome, all that, how interconnected the whole group is.
Dude, so already, like, trophy trucks are dope, right? But the guys that do Baja on bikes, God, those guys have some cojones, dude. Like, for real. Like,
That's a different right there.
It's what?
That's a different beast right there.
Dude, yeah. Well, and like Braybeck and all those guys that do the Dakar Rally and stuff. Like, could you imagine, Joe, taking your dirt bike and going and doing a 1,000?
No, not at all.
And you've been to a million. Could you do it, Oren? Like, I would, like, even if I could, I would probably say no.
No. Gosh, this was years ago. I was 19, so it was like early 2000s, and Jerry Welchel was driving the Riviera truck, and he was going down to pre-run, and he would pre-run his section on a dirt bike, and there was an extra dirt bike, and he said, hey, you want to pre-run this 200-mile section with me? And I thought I was pretty decent on a dirt bike. Like, yeah, I can do that. I will keep up with you. I'll be your wingman. So I'm riding in borrowed moto boots and jeans and a team t-shirt, and it took me like 10 hours, 12 hours to do. I was probably the worst thing that's happened to Jerry in a long time. Like, it took me so long to get through 200 miles. It was miserable.
Really?
After that, I'm like, it was just all this stuff that, like, I'd never ridden like silt beds before, or like going over Mike's Sky Ranch. Like, I jumped into that way blind. And
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, and these guys that do it are flying. They're running trophy truck speed. Yeah, it's just unbelievable.
Wouldn't try it ever again. Those guys are badass.
And then you add when you not only the skill and talent it takes, but then when you start getting run down by the trophy trucks, that's a whew.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about a pucker factor. Dude,
Yeah,
that
that's
would,
scary.
big time. Well, before we get into some of the next questions, Chris Holmes commented in and said, can you read that, Joe? My vision is not that great. Can you see it? It says question for the couple.
Where you at?
Question for the couple. How many fish can you fit in a 16-foot boat at 25 miles offshore of Florida with 4 people on board? I guess, is this one of those trick questions? Like, what size is the boat? Like,
No, that was like, you have your like first time experiences, right? Like fishing is way different on over in Florida than it is like in California or something like that. Like there's a lot more fish, different types of fish to be caught. Chris is a great captain, and we took a 16-foot boat with no navigation stuff, 25 miles offshore, like just headed out into the ocean in a dinghy. And I mean, he was just slaying the fish. There was more fish than that. We had no room for anything. You couldn't even walk. That guy put so many fish on the boat. But that was like something I've never seen before. Like I'm thinking we're just going to go and find a little, a rock pile and go fish that. And we go out and you can't see land. You couldn't see anything. I mean, it was terrifying. And that's like everyday normal life back here.
dude, that's like, that would scare me. Like, the show's called The Dirt Life, not The Water Life. Like, I would be freaking out, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a, little tie-in, but yes, that's
so you guys were both there on that trip?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So who caught more fish then? Like, that's the real question.
Fishing. She's way better than me at fishing.
Now see, all right, so but Chris, I can't claim any of that because I will not claim a fish unless I was the one who put the bait in the water. If I did not put the bait in the water and I bring it on the boat, I still didn't catch it. So he is so good at what he does that he doesn't let you bait it and put it in the water. He's still throwing out the bait, and then he'll just say fish on while driving, and then someone just jumps on the pole. So that one's hard to say because I can't claim the fish if I didn't put the bait in the water.
Yeah, so I kind of agree with that because, like, you know how they say, like, camping and glamping? Like, that's, like, kind of cheating a little bit. Like, so is it, like, fish glamping when you're doing it that way? Like, because you're...
for sure.
Yeah,
It was insane. He was driving the boat. He was driving the boat, smoking a cigarette, hydrating, running 2 fishing poles. Let us reel him in, and then before we could even get the fish in the boat, he's already resetting the line back out. Like, he was the one-man freaking army. We just looked like a bunch.
He sounds like a guy that everybody, including myself, wants to hang out with, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, that was like my first introduction. Like, oh, this is how you just fish with someone awesome all the time? I could do this. This is great.
Yeah, like, we could go get our dinner every day.
Yeah.
It doesn't go that way. But it's now when we went to the Keys on our own with that kind of confidence.
Yeah, wasn't that
I mean, we got some fish, but it was a little sketchy at first.
You got up like 10 minnows.
Yeah. We had to work for it.
We had a couple more comments come in. Kelly Kerri says, when is Track and Trail West Coast coming? So that sounds like a pretty good goal to start working towards, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it would be awesome. Right now we're very happy with how the shop's going here and just looking, enjoying being able to do this deal and keep running to events and races and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm sure at one point it'll happen, but right now it's still like, it's still a fairly new business. We're just having fun figuring it out and building it up and doing all that good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of excitement that comes with that, right? Like, whenever you're building a business, it's like the next milestone and it really, like, when you're a racer, it really, like, kind of brings up those senses again, or when you're like an off-roader or something, because you're like thinking, what's the next obstacle, or where's the next mile marker at, what's the next thing that's going to hit the GPS, like all of those different things. And when you're operating a business and you have that same mindset, you have a winning mindset, first of all, and then second, you also have like that drive to move forward at a quick pace. So it's pretty cool. I can see where both of them have that same passion.
Yeah. How long has Track and Trail been in business?
4 years.
4 years. Good for you guys.
4 years. 4-year mark.
Dang, that's pretty cool. We got a comment come in that said, John says, is it tough being based on the East Coast and running in the dirt on the West?
The only tough part about it, to be honest with you, is the time difference. Because we could be back same day sometimes, or, it could be a quicker trip than it needs to. But when you're coming from the West Coast to the East Coast, you lose the whole day.
Yeah.
So that's what I don't think about that I feel like kind of makes it a little difficult.
It just takes a bunch of planning and knowing what you're doing and where you're going and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's definitely harder than, being in Orange County and leaving and going to Ocotillo or out to the desert. So, I mean, it takes a lot more preparation and yeah, I don't know. I'd say it can be more costly, but I mean, we've had really good luck with, finding flights that make sense and stuff like that. So it's not as daunting as it probably looks.
Yeah, especially when most places you'd say, okay, so you want to go to Ocotillo. Okay, well, that's 3 hours from, Southern California, but that's a 3-hour flight for us too. So it's really not that bad either.
Yeah, I guess it's just.
And it's not that bad.
Yeah, the way you plan it and how you execute it, I guess you're right. Yeah, Vinny just commented him and says, you guys are awesome and killing it. So it's really cool that you guys do have that passion to be able to do and execute all those things. Like, there's a lot of people that, just go to their job and they don't even want to fly or they don't want to do these extracurricular activities. And it seems like you guys just can't get enough of it.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, with what we were doing for work before we started this, we both were traveling quite a bit. I mean, Kerri was bouncing around to, rally cross and short course races and nitro circus stuff. And I was, chasing Casey around all the events that he does. So we both, we got very acclimated to it quickly. So then, like, when we started this up, that was just like, oh, you got to do a bunch of events. That's all part of it. That's how the circus works. So that we've just carried that on for the last 4 years that we, but we committed to it. Like, hey, we're going to be gone a bunch, which those work days don't just go away. That just means when we get back, there's very few weekends. It's just back in the shop, and we'll trade that race weekend for a work weekend back here. So it's all got its give and take.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's what's good about, what do they say? If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life or whatever it is. So that's good that both of you guys have that passion. So we had Rick Harrington comment in. We were going to actually wait for this, but we'll just go with it because we're getting so many comments. I don't want to lose it. But he said, what's Oren's favorite Jeep build that he's done? I'm assuming that he's asking this question because you built his Jeep. Is that what he wants you to say that? That's the right answer for this one?
Yeah, that's a loaded question. His Jeep's on its way back here right now from California for the full, V8 swap, custom, all triangulated 4-link rear suspension, 3-inch internal bypass coilovers. Like he's getting the full best of everything you can do. Rick's definitely going for it. So yes, that will be my favorite build. but yeah, we have a lot. We're very fortunate for the people that we have met and get to do builds for and stuff like that. So we've got a ton of Jeeps in here that every one of them, I put my heart into it like it's my own, for myself to go out and play around in. So it's hard to pick a favorite because any one of them I'd take.
Okay, so
we all have to watch them leave too.
Yeah,
that's the tough part.
That's what I was going to say. So Joe, he kind of gave the politically correct answer. Let's see if Kerri can just tell us her all-time favorite one.
Favorite build is.
Ooh. That's a tricky one. There's a lot of. All right, so this one was cool because it was just a sleeper, and it's very rare that we get a customer that comes in that says, okay, I want a V8 without like full custom suspension. But this customer wanted a V8 that had a mid-arm kit, but he wanted to take it back to Spain. He wanted to ship it to Spain where he was from. It was really interesting. It wasn't my typical favorite where it was, 40s and, it had its own, but it looked like a JK on 37s, or 35s. It didn't look like anything that special, but I mean, it was.
Yeah, it had a 525 horsepower LS3 in it, and we did all this
I
stuff.
like those ones, man, that look all clean.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Ranger that Joe built?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's awesome.
Yeah, it's super cool and plus it didn't look like, it wasn't super like flat. It wasn't freaking red. It wasn't all these crazy like big old wrap and like it was so clean.
Yeah, and that was the 4-door one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that in itself was so awesome. Seeing a 4-door Ranger, that thing was.
Yeah.
I many a times behind the Coral in Ensenada when.
Yeah. No, and Kerri, that Jeep build that you were speaking of, going international, that's got to have some sentimental value too.
Yeah, and it added something really cool to a build that we hadn't quite experienced yet, which was all the little things here and there for, the certifications. Once it gets off of the ship, their stipulations and everything that it had to meet was very specific, and we had to jump through several hoops in order for it to, all the T's to be crossed and the I's dotted. So that, that added something to it that most builds we don't have to experience.
Thank God that you had your business acumen to execute all that stuff, right?
That would have put me out of business. That thing would have been shipped back like 5 times had it been just me paperwork.
Dude, whenever I hear stories like that, I'm like, there's no, like, I would fail at that miserably. Like, I would definitely need Kerri to handle something like that too. That's cool. That's cool though that you were, because like I always say, like something that's in the past always ends up like rearing its nose like somewhere along the lines, and that's like super cool that happened.
Yeah, it was good. It was really fun.
So we got a couple more comments coming in. This one has a sentimental end to it, but it says, Kerri is so amazing. Oren may be a funny-looking little guy, but he has made his family proud, and his dad is smiling down on him.
Oh.
So it's got a sentimental end, but she did throw a joke in there. I mean, God, give her some credit for that.
But it's not a joke when you hear it all the time. That's
okay. So it's just another jab.
Yeah, no, I get so used to that one. I mean,
that was from it's maybe your sister or somebody, Sarah Anderson. So Mark also commented and said, "Team Track and Trail, thank you very much for working on all 3 of my Jeeps." And that was from Mark Dosey.
Yeah.
So
the one behind us is actually his 3rd Jeep that we built.
Nice, that's cool. So what's a normal day, like a day in the life of Track and Trail Offroad and Kerri and Oren?
I mean, it varies. We get a lot of good, bolt-on suspension kit stuff and re-gears and stuff like that. But we also have gotten a good following of people that want to do, custom, full fabricated, custom long arm suspension and Frenched-in coilover mounts and V8 swaps and stuff like that. So we have some good, like, real labor-intensive custom projects that we always have. That's like a constant, and then we'll try and work in some lift kits and stuff like that. But, like Kerri said, it's like, it's like juggling. I'll have a project that might take us, several months to work on and everything like that. And she'll still help me balance out like a day or 2 project that we can squeeze in just to get, keep helping the, every level of off-roaders out and stuff like that. So just trying to keep that balance and juggle. But I mean, it's typically we get in the morning, Kerri just crushes all the invoicing and quotes and getting information to customers and stuff like that. I usually try and start getting dirty pretty quick. And then, we have a pretty much a full like kitchen living room set up at the shop just because we're here so much. So, we do a lot of our meals here. We don't really go out too much, and then just work till we feel we're happy with quitting, or if there's like a cool local event going on, we'll sneak out for a bit, but just run it like that.
And I'm sorry, it's just
Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Just the 2 of you.
Yeah, it's primarily just the 2 of us. We've had a great employee for pretty much since the coronavirus locked everything down. He was going to an aeronautical college near here, and with the schools being shut down, he's been full time for the last 5 months, and he's really been an asset. He's a great help, great kid. I call him the unicorn because he doesn't have sorry, we got a train going in the back.
That's okay. We can still hear you, so you can still keep talking.
Okay. But anyways, he's not very heavy into social media. He's a good kid. He's it's like they're getting harder to find, right? Kids that have a good work ethic and are motivated to do well and put pride into what they do, and they're not just trying to collect a paycheck or
And it's funny too when you said like what's our daily tasks. Sometimes about 99% of the time, Oren just deals with the customer build, what he's got going on in front of him. But then every once in a while, like you'll see Oscar and I will just bounce around to just various projects. Like one day it'll be, helping out with this build, but then the next it's a forklift. We're doing something, we're changing a pump out on a forklift, or we're tuning the carbs in one of the jet skis, or messing with the boat. Like sometimes it's pretty unpredictable, and I think that's something that I know I enjoy it, and I know he really enjoys it too, because it's not every single day is the same here, and that's what's really, really cool.
Yeah, Joe and I talk about this all the time, actually. Like, he's a jack of all trades. You guys are jacks of all trades. Like, if a task comes up, you just do it. Like, there's no like, oh, who do I call? I don't know how to fix it. You just go and figure it out and just do it. And then the second thing that you guys had just mentioned, well, two things. I love unicorns, by the way. The second thing is that you don't look at your watch at 5 o'clock and say, oh, cool, my day's done. That's it doesn't exist in Joe's world. It doesn't exist in my world, and apparently it doesn't exist in your guys' world too. When the job's done, that's when your days were done.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably a lot of that is our passion getting us into trouble. Like, it's very easy to say yes to projects. Am I right, Joe? Like, it's very easy to say, yeah, bring it on down, I'll do that. And, those, with what we do, rarely do those projects fit in the 8 to 5 time frame. I mean, I don't think I've had one that I've said yes to that's worked out as perfect as it did in my head.
But I think the good part about that, and again, Joe and I talk about this all the time, is people know that when they give a project to Joe or they give a project to you guys, that it's going to get done and executed properly, because that's just the way that you guys work.
Yeah. I think it's the years of, not to be dramatic, but it's the years of the work that we've done that, like, and I feel pretty passionately about this, that, people's lives were on the line. So, like, that has never left my mind. Everything is thinking about safety and longevity, and, it's not just a fun toy. People are taking their whole families out and having fun. Like, you got to have that commitment to, detail and quality, because at the end of the day, it's safety.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Trying to just carry the race mentality of it, the race like nut and bolt mentality, carrying that over into daily drivers is so much more important. Like when we get the customers that come in that had, issues at other shops or issues in other areas, and we turn around and we see a car seat in the back, it's like, oh my God. Like,
whoa, that puts a whole nother level on it.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, yeah, it's definitely, it's not something that just, it shuts off and maybe it, kicks us in the butt when it comes to scheduling, but we don't, we refuse to not treat stuff like it's, our own.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We even we talk about it too, like putting a paint marker on a bolt so that it's not going to come loose. I mean, it's easy, detailed things like that, but there's so much behind it that makes it so much safer for everybody else. So, Greg Brattle, what's up, man? He said hi to both of us. So we're going to keep it a little lighter hearted here. We have a couple more questions that we want to ask you guys about the racing stuff, but I wanted to see if you guys were interested in playing Are You Smarter Than a Third Grader? Let's see who wins.
Like, I've heard you guys talking about this, this is like dread that I'm feeling, because
dude,
the overthinking.
I'm telling you.
All right, hit us.
The first question is, are you more nervous to do this or ride the Baja 1000? Because every time I've asked another racer this, they're like, dude, please, can I leave? I don't want to answer these questions. Like,
it's about this than the Baja 1000 for sure.
All right, so you got to use your name as your buzzer. So if you can answer the question, just yell your name real quick. The first, and you can play too, Joe, if you want. The first question is 25 times 3.
Joe.
Kerri.
Okay, Joe said, I know you guys are joking. But Joe beat you to it, so.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Joe.
75.
Huh?
75.
Dude, Joe got it. 75. All right, so 1 point for Joe so far. All right, so let me see if I can remember the next question. The Statue of Liberty was given to us from what country?
Oren.
The
France.
Oh, he got it. Boom. All right. So Kerri's going to have to catch up. So let's see here. What's another good question? How many states are in the United States minus Alaska and Hawaii?
You got to say your name.
Kerri,
go ahead.
48.
Oh, another one. Good. You guys are getting them all right. I think you guys are doing good.
You guys are going easy on us.
That's bad because I was thinking it was 50.
Well, I said 'cause it's got that trick in it with minus the 2. So
Yeah.
that's where it comes from. Shoot, let me think of another one. Oh, yeah. So this is the final one. Whoever gets this is the total winner of the whole game. How many minutes are in 1 hour? Joe.
60.
Dude. I really wanted Kerri or Oren to win because you're sitting right here next to me, man. I wanted our guest to win it, Joe. Like, what you stole it from him, bro. You stole it.
I think the internet froze up. I mean, it froze. We didn't even hear the question.
Okay, I got it. So Joe was the sleeper on this one, I guess, huh?
Yes, he is definitely smarter than a third grader.
So we actually had some fun with this at the UTV World Championship, and we had our buddy Caden Danbury. He's I think he's 12 now, 13 maybe, but he was the one asking all the questions, and him and his mom came up with all the questions, none of which I just asked you because the ones that he come up with, I can't. There's no way. Like, I couldn't answer them. They're just way too hard. So kudos to Caden for coming up with all those questions. So.
Good.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about racing then. So we're going to ask this question later on, like, as a favorite race for you guys. But do you guys have, like, events that you like going to more than other ones? Like King of the Hammers is fun or not fun? Baja is fun or not fun? Like those kind of things.
King of the Hammers, I think, for me, is always going to hold the #1 spot, especially now because Dave brought in the trophy trucks, which to me, that event was top tier, but it was always missing something. Obviously, trophy trucks to me have opened my eyes to what they are, and them now at King of the Hammers is like, it's 100% for me. Like that was it to top that was the topper of that event. For
Hey,
sure.
do you still bring your truck out there with all the toolbox in the back and stuff and just go like try to go find people to help them?
No, a retired shop truck now. She's had a good life.
She had a good run in her.
Yeah.
Now we just get like a rental Jeep and go see if we can rescue people with that.
So since you were talking about King of the Hammers before Oren answers the same question, did you see that one of the Miller brothers, I think it was Cody Miller, ran against the 4400s last year in Can-Am X3 and did pretty well?
Yeah, that was awesome. And those guys in the UTV race as well. I mean, that was how fast those cars have progressed. Just blew my mind.
It's unbelievable.
It really.
You have to look back and see like some of the early on when they first started introducing the UTV race to it. You got to see the pictures of Casey and Oren racing in these cowies, like full, like little bubbled helmet. It's so funny. Like looking all the way out of the Terex, it's so good.
That is kind of crazy. I didn't think about that. Like, what year was that you guys did that? Like 2010?
So that was, 2010. In that area was when it was like, back when people were still running like the Yamaha Rhinos. That was like a, super competitive car. And then Razor was just coming out with their, they were really starting to freaking dominate. They were building faster stuff. But
was that not like impossible to finish?
It was so, even till like a few years ago, there'd be like 3 or 4 finishers. Like it's insane. It's always been really hard. I mean, they're not changing the trails up, but just how fast the equipment is catching up now. Like the Miller brothers and a lot of the top level guys like the Guthries and everyone like that, like what they're doing and how they're building cars now, like they're just as capable in the rocks as a 4400 car, but they weigh 3,000 pounds less. Like it's crazy.
It really is. Now that I think about it, like it's 10 years. I mean, that seems like a lot, but that's a pretty short amount of time for those cars to get going that fast. Like, just think about how many years 4400s have been around. I mean, obviously the stuff grows and gets better and technology does, but that's freaking nuts, man. Maybe you can answer the same question that we just asked Kerri. Like, what's your favorite event to go to?
So for me, King of the Hammers, I enjoy because it's so much racing crammed into like a 1 week. I mean, there's stuff going on every day and every night. And I've been fortunate, for a few of the years to be able to race in a couple different classes. The last 2 years, it's been with Bryce in both, side-by-side and trophy truck, which has been really cool. And then, trying to still do stuff with other friends in 4,400 and things like that. It's really fun to get that, like pretty much so many race events in 3 days, right? Like that, I enjoy that. But obviously, like going down to Baja is always the best. I mean, the race is great, but it's so much more the time down there before, putting in the homework and pre-running with the Baja race family and doing all that, like, being down there for 2 weeks, just living every bit of the race, that's right up there with King of the Hammers.
Yeah,
sure.
so that was actually one of the answers that I wanted to hear, because I talk with Joe about this every now and then too, but that's been on the bucket list for me. Is I don't need to race a Baja 1000 or anything like that, but I would love to just go down there and enjoy the pre-run, or just go down there for a Baja adventure or something like that. To me would be so much fun. I mean, I've raced short course down there and stuff, but it's not the same,
One of our first trips together, I can't even remember the year, but I mean, it was 10 years ago, where we weren't competing in the Baja 1000 with anybody. So Kerri and I loaded up the Jeep and had some of the Curry family loaded up as well. And we had, 3 or 4 vehicles, and we drove down and did contingency, and then loaded up and drove out to the beach, like out after Santo Tomas. So we drove the race course out the day before the race, set up, camped the night before the race on the beach, and then woke up to the first bike guys going by, and then had brunch while all the trophy trucks drove by, like sitting on this awesome, would have been a great surf spot, but we didn't bring any boards, but just hanging out on the beach, just watching everything going on. That was like probably still one of my favorite trips.
And that was my first Baja 1000 experience. In fact, that was the first time I've even ever seen a trophy truck in action. And I cannot believe I'm saying this in public, but that was the first time I ever cried in front of him. That's when I saw the trophy truck go by me for the first time.
Dang, it was that impressive?
It was that impressive. I've only ever dreamed about him and seen him on TV, but that I was so fanboying, it was insane.
That's cool. Well, thank God at least he sits in the trophy truck, because otherwise she wouldn't have been thinking he was as impressive, right?
Yep, I know. It's my saving grace, I guess.
But no, it was tent, and then just hearing, like, it was still really, really early. It was so dark out, and we could hear the first bike coming through. That feeling was climbing out of the tent, rustling to try to make your way, to see who was the first bike by. That was such a cool thing to do.
Dude, yeah, those experiences, like, those are really our top-notch experiences, right?
For sure.
So we had a couple more comments come in. I don't know if this comment actually makes any sense, but it says, do they race 4-seaters? I don't know if that, and that's Justin Mazia. Maybe it's a joke, because he also commented in saying Corn Pop is a bad dude.
Corn Pop's a bad dude.
That's what he said. So I don't know what that means, but it sounds funny.
I mean, I'm down for a pre-runner class.
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. At the UTV World Championship this year, they introduced a rally class, which is basically a stock fuel cell kind of car. You can have opening doors and stuff like that, but it's basically just a halfway there desert car in the UTV stuff, and that class had the most entries out of everybody.
Kind of a run what you brung deal.
Yeah, so I mean, most people are just building a desert car that has open doors with no fuel cell, like, so you just get gas whenever. But it was pretty cool, man. It was sweet to see.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what.
And I think those are the things that progress, like, the off-road industry in my mind. I mean, like, of course you guys do a million Jeeps and bigger stuff, but you got to admit the side-by-side stuff has been pretty impressive the last few years.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, that was. Like, we've used them at different times over the years for, like, pre-runners down in Mexico even, and just how much ground you can cover and what they're capable of. Like, it's just comfortable fun. Like, I can remember the first truck I ever raced in when I was 17 years old was a 7S truck, which at the time, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. That goes half the speed the new Razors and Can-Ams go, like anywhere. It's just wild how much fun they are and how easy it is for people to get into them now.
Yeah, it really is cool. Yeah, and we were talking about this the other day when I went over to your shop, Joe. Is I saw your Razor and I was like, yeah, that thing's pretty stock, and you're like, yeah, but it goes faster than I can go, so
yeah.
It's pretty cool to see that. All right, well, I know it's getting late over there. So do you guys mind if we ask you guys some rapid fire questions and end off the show?
Sounds good.
All right, Joe, you got to bring up your questions, bud, so we can go through them. So I will start with the first question while Joe brings his up. Dunes or the river?
River.
What
Ask
about
me why. Say why.
Okay, why, Kerri? Why is the river your answer?
Why? Because the river, you can take the side-by-sides too, and then you get both worlds. You got the boats, and you got the side-by-sides to get down to the river.
Dude,
that was an awesome time in Needles. That was a good time. We need to get out and do that again.
All right, let us know. We'll go meet you.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you, Oren? Same answer?
Yeah, river. Hands down, river.
All right, Joe, what's the next question, bud?
3-wheelers or quads?
Quads. I can't believe I even said quad. 4-wheelers.
They're 4-wheelers back here, all right?
Okay.
4-wheelers.
Bikes, son, bikes.
Yeah, everything's a bike there. Besides are bikes. Bicycles are bikes.
What about you, Joe? Are you going with death machines or quads?
Yeah, I was on a 3-wheeler when I was 5 years old.
You're sticking with 3-wheeler?
I love the old 3-wheelers. I still do.
Dude, yeah, I remember like
Oren's with me, aren't you?
What's that?
You're with me on that, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I rode them before 4-wheel really a thing, but I'm pretty happy with quads now.
Dude, I remember what was it, the 4-stroke 3-wheeler, a 200X. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah.
Like those things were like the next level thing. Like those things were so fun. Oh, here's a good one. What's your Mount Rushmore? 4 people of off-road.
4 people in the Mount Rushmore of off-road. That's tough. Walker Evans.
You got like Ross. You got like Rossler. You got McCack. You got a bunch of badass dudes, right?
Rossler. I got Leduc. Definitely got to put a Leduc up there. And where's the 4th?
You could have.
Kerri wants to bring the age down a little bit.
All right, well let her pick her own Mount Rushmore. Then you finish off, Oren, with your 4th one. Then
I gotta throw Rob McCacken in there.
Yeah, I agree with that one. So well, finish it off, Oren, with one more. Then who are you gonna pick on there? So you got Rossler, Walker Evans. Who else did you pick?
The Duke. And I'm sure there's so many people right now that are going, why the hell didn't you choose me?
Well, dude, that's why it's rapid fire. It's supposed to put you on the spot, man. Whoever comes off the top of your head. So.
I think Bryce does.
Oh, yeah, and I'll put Bryce on there because it's only fitting that.
How about you, Kerri? What's your Mount Rushmore of off-road?
Oh, well, I chipped in there. Let's see. Ricky Johnson.
Ooh,
sure.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Now I feel stupid.
That's bringing in the short course side of things.
Yeah, well, he's just an all-around badass dude. I mean, like, he just ripped on it. He was the bad boy, dude. Like, how can you not?
You got 2 more.
Yeah. All right. So.
Was it Lewis? Zawa said Rick Huseman. That's a good one.
Absolutely, that is a good one.
See.
Rapid fire.
I know.
You're taking longer than me.
You took all the good ones.
All right, so while Kerri thinks of her final answers for the rapid fire or for the Mount Rushmore of off-road, can you read that comment from Itzel right there, Joe? Can you see that one or no?
Hey guys, I got a question for you. Oren, what is the most rewarding part of your job? And Kerri, were
you the proudest of Oren? Oh, crap.
When were you the proudest of Oren?
What was the first part? What was my part of that one?
What's the most rewarding part of your job?
Yeah. Gosh, that was a good answer.
What was it?
Getting to Kerri all day, every day.
Oh, boom. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank God you served that one up. Yeah, and then when were you the proudest of Oren, Kerri?
What was what?
When were you proudest of me?
Oh, when I would have to say King of the Hammers last year. The win after King of the Hammers. That one's been, I feel like, a long time coming. There's been a lot that he's put in a lot of work for, and he's kind of not slipped, but it's always been stupid breaks or something really small that's taken him out during that race. So just getting a win there was definitely one of my more prouder moments.
Yeah, that's cool. I was proudest of him when he got up the cojones to drive 80 miles an hour and discuss with Bryce how he was going to propose to you.
Back, he landed was it 1280 the other night? 1080 on that scooter we were talking about.
No way.
One-handed, beer in hand.
Bullshit.
Hydration.
Are you being for real? Like that really did happen?
I mean, it was a late Saturday night, but I don't mean to toot my horn, but toot.
Dude, honestly, like I have a whole new level of respect for Oren now. Who cares about going 820 miles an hour in a trophy truck? Busted it out at 1080 on a scooter.
Yeah, but what you were saying about the talking with Bryce at 80 miles an hour, like that guy will be doing 125 through big whoops with his hand out the window net, throwing the shaka at fans or people. Like that guy is very comfortable at high speeds. He's not afraid to have a conversation, skipping, backing into corners in Baja or anything like that.
Skills for days, apparently, huh? Well, so I love this Mount Rushmore question because you're right. It's all of a sudden started to come in. So Candy and Chris Vincent said Ivan Stewart. That's a good one. Let's see. Iron Man, Mickey Thompson, Iron Man Stewart, Robbie Gordon. Oh, man. Cody and Chris Vincent said, tell Dirty V. We said, what's up? What is that? What's Dirty V? That sounds bad.
Dirty V is Chris Vincent's nickname.
Oh, I got
I'm
you.
not sure why he earned the title Dirty V, but he is a funny guy. We worked together at Terrible Herps Motorsports back in the day, and he was a fun guy to stay hydrated with.
Right on. And Chris Holmes commented in saying Afro Man or a local band for your guys' upcoming wedding. Ooh, that's a good question, actually.
Afro Man's
Did I hear
good.
Afro Man? I don't know. We're pretty tight with Afro Man. We had a moment at Trail Hero last year with Afro Man.
Oh, you guys are homies?
Well, I don't know if you were there last year, but they got Afro Man to come perform like on the side of the lake with like house speakers in front of like 30 people.
Nice.
But it was like Afro Man in the middle of the lake, like right next to the lake in Sand Hollow. That was like the most bizarre, awesome thing.
And he ended his show asking for a ride to the nearest hotel.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Perfect.
Did anybody give him a ride in a side-by-side?
Yeah.
Nice.
He couldn't get an Uber in the state park, so he got a ride to like Denny's or something like that.
Dude,
It was awesome.
yeah, score one for the off-road industry, dude. Heck yeah. Dude, that's sweet. Man, we're getting all Johnny Campbell. Yeah, so there's a bunch of them. All right,
Yeah,
so let's
nice.
finish this off, Kerri. Tell us what your ending Mount Rushmore is, and we'll get on to the next question.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to reuse at least Rob, Ricky Johnson. So everyone you guys are talking about and listing off, they're badasses. However, that was kind of before my involvement. So I got to Mount Rushmore it with the people that I feel like I've seen, just make moves, and that would definitely be. Walker's up there too. Walker's awesome because we share the trails with him too. So seeing what he can do on the track and obviously on the trail is pretty impressive. So Walker, Rob, definitely Ricky Johnson, and then.
What about just you could just name your friend Bryce? Just throw him in there.
I mean, yeah, that goes without saying.
Oh,
Bryce-
actually,
Bryce-
who could do a good job is we'll just say Casey Curry because he's Jeep and racer guy. So we could just have him up there just as a default.
Be up there for the, I think Mount Rushmore. I think of like past.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going too. But I like how Kerri's like talking about like current guys too. That's pretty rad. All right, let's go with the next one. Oh, are you guys into motocross? You guys follow motocross?
Do we follow motocross?
Yeah.
Not
Not
as
really.
much.
crap. Okay, so you guys might not know this one then. All right, I'm going to switch up this question, Joe, so I'll skip. Let's see here. R.J. Anderson or Brian Deegan?
R.J. Anderson.
RJ.
All right, Joe, what's the next one? Can you see it?
Favorite food?
Ooh, sushi.
Sushi.
Really?
Sushi and
That's
Maybe not the same.
yeah.
how much.
I definitely didn't expect that answer. Although I was craving sushi yesterday. Let's see here. Little Smokies or pizza rolls?
Oof.
Pizza rolls.
Yeah, pizza rolls. Little Smokies are not mine.
Even though pizza
my-
rolls are gonna, no matter what, burn the shit out of your mouth
For
Not
sure.
gonna
Little
taste
lava
anything
cakes.
for a week, but it's
Yep.
worth it.
every time. Yeah, most of the time is you have them after you've been hydrating for like a few hours, and you just pop them in the microwave and then dip them in some ranch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, Joe, what's the next one?
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee for sure.
Favorite soda?
Favorite soda.
Sweet tea.
Yeah, that counts. She's a Southern sweet tea girl. I'm more of a Sprite guy.
Oh, you go Sprite.
Or
Ooh.
Mexican Coke.
Oh yeah, if it's a legit bottled in Mexico Coca-Cola, that's hands
Yeah.
down the best.
They got a carniceria down the street from my house that has all of those. Selection is off the chain, and they got the orange ones, the grape ones, all of them, dude.
All the good stuff.
Yeah,
that's-
dude, it's basically like if you're a super connoisseur of soda, it's like your drug dealer.
I like that.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's tough.
I had strength.
Oh, you would have like massive strength?
She's already freakishly strong. I mean, she is way too strong. That's
But when we run out of gas in the forklift at midnight, I could have pushed it in the other night, not instead run around trying to look for gas on Sunday night.
So
don't tell them.
that's another thing. Like if for some reason like I can ever hire her, I'm gonna, because she's talking about like she's taking a superpower for utilitarian qualities. Like she wants to be able to push in vehicles herself, like do all this rad stuff. Like who wouldn't want that, right? All right, what's your superpower, Oren?
If my superpower could be not having to urinate ever again, I'd be pretty cool with that.
Yeah, that would help out so much in the race truck too.
Yeah, if I didn't have to put on a catheter ever again, I'd be good with that.
Oh, he's lying. He'll wear that thing for like 2 hours after the race just so he can pee anywhere.
On Monday, he's like, "Oh, I'm good."
Yeah. Yep.
Right on. All right, I think it's my turn, Joe. Uggs or Crocs?
That's tough.
I'm gonna have to go with neither.
That's not an option.
What are the other? I'll go with Uggs.
I'm gonna go with Crocs.
You're going with
Rolling
Crocs?
to- Here.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I just saw I posted on my Instagram story that Adidas came out with ones that you can't even put in 4-wheel drive. Like they have 0 4-wheel drive capabilities.
Yeah, see, that's a waste of rubber right there.
Yeah, exactly. Do you need to get that, Joe? Or are you
No,
all right?
I'm good.
Okay. Just want to make sure there's no emergencies with the family. That's always more important, especially than a little off-road show. So if you got to go take a call, you can, man. Most memorable race?
I mean, I'm gonna have to go with the Mint 400 when Oren proposed for sure.
I feel like that's pretty memorable.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one for me.
Yeah, go on, top that one.
It's not a good one.
All right, so we'll go on to the next question. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Gosh, I guess if it was flavored, it'd be chocolate and peanut butter.
Oh, like a Reese's Pieces kind of thing?
Yeah. There used to be something you get at Baskin Robbins. It was chocolate with peanut butter swirl in it. That used to be my jam.
Thinking Rocky Road or mint chocolate chip.
Ooh, mint chocolate chip has been a hot one on the show, man. A lot of people like the mint chocolate chip. So, all right, the next one, ski or snowboard?
I like to ski.
I've only ever skied once, and that was a few years ago in Park City. And I've yet to try snowboarding, but it's on the list.
Oh,
Florida
really?
Girls don't much for
Yeah.
snowboard.
I haven't
Or turn off
actually.
the
I'm the opposite of you guys. I've only snowboarded. I've never skied. So, what about you, Joe?
Board.
You going snowboard
yeah,
too?
I've done both, and felt much more comfortable on a board.
So did you try snowboarding, Oren, then, or no?
Yeah, I used to snowboard when I was younger, but skis are so much easier to get crossed up and ball it up. I just get a certain satisfaction over losing control of my feet and face planting down the mountain that I've always been intrigued. Like, all right, I'm going to keep doing this.
How often do you guys get to go skiing? Because I can just picture like her laughing at you and then vice versa.
Back when I worked for Kmc, we went more because we do short course races up in Salt Lake City, and that was pretty or up at Miller Motorsports Park, and that was close to Park City, so we'd stay up there and go get some up in the snow. So we had some really good fun trips with their family and stuff like that up there. But really, I mean, it's been a lot of, since we moved back here to the land of no mountains and no snow, it's been a lot of just work and beach time, and then events out in the desert. So haven't had too much free time for mountain sports.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Ramon just commented in with another Mount Rushmore, Destry Abbott. That's a good one too.
True.
Yeah.
That's a tough. There's like the off-road Mount Rushmore. There's not like 4 notable people. There's like 2,000 people that should be on there.
Yeah, I feel like that's so true, because like dirt bikes, it's like way easier because you just pick McGrath, Carmichael, and then like maybe RJ or like a couple other people. Like there's like some super standout guys. Like in off-road, there's just a bunch of badass dudes.
It really is, yeah.
That's cool. All right, so oh man, I don't even know what this one is, but Chris Holmes said, "Thanks for marrying Krista and I and being best friends. Good night, everyone." Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So we got to try our hand at wedding officiating. That was pretty cool to be a part of that moment with those guys.
So did you have to get ordained to do that?
Yeah. Yep.
What do you do? Just go online? Because one of my buddies, I think he just went online and got that.
For quite some time.
Wait, what? Say that again?
I've been ordained. I mean, it was online, but since I was like, I don't even know how it happened. Since I was like 14, I've been an ordained reverend.
Dang, dude.
People at bars.
Yeah, but never really practicing till Chris and Krista's wedding, which was really, really cool to do.
That's pretty cool. All right, so I don't know. Do you have your questions up, Joe, or no?
Oh, yeah.
So what's the next one? I think I just asked ski or snowboard.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs. Dogs, but we have a cat.
Yeah, we don't choosingly have them. They just show up at the shop, and then we just make sure they're good.
Yeah.
The rest of their
Track and trail, best ever. Man, these comments are coming in, dude. Netflix or YouTube?
Ooh.
I'd say YouTube in the spare time, Netflix when we're watching something.
And Oren, is it the same for you?
Yeah, I mean, YouTube's playing off-road stuff here at the shop most of the time during the day, and then Netflix when we're at home.
Does that mean that Kerri controls the remote?
I actually don't at all.
Yeah. Oh, I don't watch that much TV either, but
No, hardly at all.
for some reason, like I've been getting back into Netflix lately a little bit. Like I feel like YouTube, I have to change it so many times because like it'll put on a shitty video and then you're like, God, now I got to freaking find something else. So I just been ditching out on it because I've been too lazy. Just go to Netflix.
So if you pull up our YouTube, all it is off-road racing and a bunch of mud truck videos. Like it's hilarious. Every single time you pull it up, that's all you'll see.
I always wonder that, like, that's what we should ask instead of Netflix or YouTube. What is the most, like, top 5 things that come up on your YouTube channel? Because that, like, tells the personality. You don't even have to have a full Dirt Life interview. You just ask one question and it's done.
Yeah.
That's how you can know a lot about a person.
You just look at their YouTube history. All right, Joe, what's the next one?
Burritos or tacos?
Ooh, tacos.
Tacos.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree with that one for sure. We've had a lot of people from Southern California, though, especially like North County and San Clemente and stuff, that have said California burrito.
Baja's it turned me on to tacos. I hated tacos before, but actually having an authentic Baja taco is a different story.
Yeah, way different, right?
For sure.
You know, Joe, well, what Yesenia ever told you, that burritos are an American thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right, next one. This is not going to... Okay, short course or desert?
Ooh, desert.
Desert. my heart lies in short course, but desert.
Yeah, I always think like I've been getting more and more into desert lately, but like obviously Casey got me into short course when I was first getting into it, so I still have that, and I still think the intensity level like it's just so rad when you learn how to go in a short course race. I feel like that's learning skills that a lot of off-road drivers may or may not have.
Yeah.
The amount of work that goes into a short course weekend is insane. Like from the work side of it, like desert, you're working for months to build up for one event, and it's all out on the table when the green flag drops, and then whatever happens, you load on the trailer and go home. Short course, it's like, all right, run 10 laps. Now run 3 laps. Now run 8 laps. Now do 20-lap race. And it's just like so much running and fixing and cleaning.
Gear change in between each set of laps, and
that stuff is fun, but labor intensive.
Yeah, I can only imagine like the short course stuff that you guys went through with the trucks, because my race team was small. It was only a few people, and it was just for UTVs. But I would put in roughly 80 hours, 60 to 80 hours of a work week to go out for 20 minutes of drive time during the weekend. So I can only imagine what you guys is probably 10 times that, huh?
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of work.
So, okay. What's the next one, Joe?
What other form of racing would you guys like to try?
Dakar.
Kind of rally stuff.
This could be
rally.
This could be anything, though.
Yeah.
Like we asked Myles earlier, but it could be boat racing, monster trucks. It could be street racing.
I definitely want to try my hand at the mega trucks, and a lot more of the overlanding competitions. I'd like to do more of those.
We got some jokesters commenting in it. Is that Justin Mazzio? He's got jokes for days. He said it was probably for burrito or taco. He said pink taco. And then Linda said, hi, Kerri and Oren from Texas. From guess who? Well, sorry, Linda. I blew it for you. I said your name first. All right, so the last question of the night. It's the most important profiling question that we have. Chips and guacamole or French fries and ketchup?
Ooh, guacamole.
French fries.
Oh, whoa. I did not expect that. Yep. But are you going ketchup or ranch?
Ketchup
Ooh,
ranch.
ranch.
Going ranch, yeah. I can see where that comes in. So with your chips and guacamole, are you having the guacamole like super spicy, or are you going like just like avocado?
Yeah, spicy.
Yeah,
sure.
we just became best friends.
Nice.
All right, so we have a little switch up in the show. I'd like to invite Tyler into the studio if Tyler's available.
Hey, Tyler.
Maybe he can come into the studio. We'd like to see. Has Oren ever met Tyler before?
No, he's never been able to make it to the races.
Why don't you sit on your dad's lap, Tyler?
Come here, brother.
And you can put on these badass headphones right here, okay?
Just like the intercom in the race cars.
So Tyler has never interviewed anybody before, I don't think. But this is what it looks like in the studio, bud. We have all these different computer screens up here. We got our guests over here on the iPad, and then they're behind us. I don't know if you can see them on the TV behind us. But this is Kerri and Oren.
Hi.
We're going to put it a little bit closer to you. There you go.
Oren is the one that rides with Bryce Menzies.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he definitely knows how to go fast, just like your dad. So he does a lot of the same stuff that your dad did, man. Yep. Working on trucks, getting out, changing tires, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Cool.
So do you have any questions that you want to ask them about off-roading, like what their favorite car is maybe?
What's your favorite car?
Oh, gosh. My favorite car is definitely a trophy truck. Trophy trucks are pretty cool.
Yeah, they are.
Yep, they definitely are. What about Kerri's? Do you have a question for her? Maybe the same question?
Maybe same. Maybe.
Ford Raptor.
You know, how about the same question?
The Ford Raptor?
I don't know.
All right.
Do you have any other questions for them? Like, what's their favorite state?
What's your favorite razor?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Favorite raisin?
Razor.
Razor. Ooh, gosh. I don't know. It's got to be the new two-seaters with the electronic adjust shocks are pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
What about yours, Kerri? What's your favorite razor?
Yeah.
What's yours?
Oh, what's mine?
Okay.
I'm gonna go the same thing. I like on the fly switch. That's pretty cool.
She likes the oh crap button.
Cool.
What's one of your favorite things to do, Tyler?
Off-road.
Yeah, winner right there.
Yeah, that's all he knows.
What about
Nice.
bicycle riding and stuff? Do you like to do bicycle riding and things like that?
I like to do BMX. All that stuff.
Yeah.
So did you hear what Oren just did? It's like phenomenal. Like you might get along with this. Kerri, can you please tell Tyler what Oren just did on a scooter?
The 3-wheeler.
On a 3-wheeler.
Is
Oh,
that
it was a
tricycle?
3-wheeler. Okay.
Tricycle. So much more manly than that.
Yeah.
He did 3 360s in a row.
Really?
One-handed. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
all-
right?
Almost X Games stuff, buddy. It was pretty legit.
Dude, that's nuts. And I thought it was on a scooter, but a 3-wheeler makes it that much more impressive, don't you think, Tyler?
Yeah.
Dude, what kind of, do you want to ask him like what kind of 3-wheeler it was so you know like what kind of vehicle he was on?
I've only seen Hondas.
Honda 3-wheelers?
Yeah.
So this looked like, you remember like your big wheel scooter you probably pedaled around when you were a kid? It had the big front tire and the little tires on the back. So it was like that, but with a gas engine on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
that's pretty crazy, right? So we had some comments just come in. Actually, we're trying to get a little bit of rapid fire and then let these guys go to bed. But Ramon said ketchup and tapatio. I don't know how that doesn't sound good to me. Maybe it sounds good to you guys. And then Janet Kratz says, "What is the next adventure that you guys have planned?"
So yeah, we actually are leaving Wednesday morning to fly out west to go to Parker.
Oh, that's going to be cool. What's going to be like the process that you guys go through? Like, what's the normal? Obviously, you guys have a plane ticket and stuff, but you get a hotel. Do you guys camp?
Yeah, so normally we'll do a hotel. Usually, if it's a Vegas race, something close to like a Menzies shop or something like that, so we can try and be as involved and helpful as we can with all the pre-race stuff. So fly out, go, either check in at the shop or grab a rental car. For this one, we'll go to the shop, and there'll be a chase truck that will help get out to Parker once we land in from Vegas. And we'll go out, and then hopefully we can help the guys set up and get everything ready, and then get ready for qualifying and all that good stuff. And then after the race Sunday, burn back, and we got a freaking dark 30 flight back home Monday morning.
Yeah, always works like that, right? So,
Yeah.
Tyler, do you have any other questions for them before we bail out?
Is that a Jeep back there?
Is that a Jeep? Yeah, it is.
It's
They work
Cool.
on Jeeps, a lot of Jeeps.
Really?
It's pretty cool, huh? Have you ever heard of what a V8 swap is? Have your dad ever told you about that?
I don't know.
Can you tell him what it is, Oren?
It's when you take a really fast motor, like out of a Corvette, a big noisy V8, and put it in a Jeep. So it's a Jeep that goes probably faster than it should.
Nice.
Yeah, that is nice, huh? So, do you remember your dad's little Ford Ranger truck?
The pre-runner?
The white one?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember it.
It's pretty rad, huh?
Yeah.
Oren really likes that truck, too.
That thing probably went way faster than it should, too, huh?
Right.
What motor did you have in that thing?
It was an LS2. Yeah.
Oh, was it 2?
Yep.
Right on. Yeah, see, that's crazy, man. I never asked you what shocks you had on that thing either.
They were all Fox.
Oh, were they?
All Fox shocks, yep.
Nice, that's cool. All
Yeah,
right,
it was a good
Tyler,
car.
one last question, bud. Maybe something about off-road or something about bicycle riding?
I don't really know.
You don't? Well, you're doing a good job, man.
Yeah, you're doing great.
I think.
bud.
What?
How about something like what size tires do they usually put on Jeeps? That sounds like it'd be a pretty good answer.
Sure.
All right, let's hear it. Ask them.
What size tires do you put on a Jeep?
Usually they're either 37 or 40-inch tall tires.
Cool.
And what size tires does Kerri prefer?
What do you prefer, Kerri?
42s.
Whoa!
Big ones.
She-
That's
yeah.
bigger than a trophy truck tire.
Really?
Yeah, The 42 inch is like this big, dude. It's huge. All right. Well, thank you very much, Tyler, for being the host of the show. We really appreciate you coming in and doing such a great job, dude.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys very much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it, Kerri and Oren, for staying up so late out in Florida. You guys really are living your best dirt life, man. I think it's so cool that you guys are pursuing your dreams with Track and Trail Offroad. We hope that everybody can go on our social media, check out the links that we did to Track and Trail Offroad. Maybe Kerri can supply us with some of the old school pictures of the mud trucks, I think they were called.
Yep.
And we can poke fun at her a little bit online and give you guys some social media links to go check out some of the stuff that they're doing, because they really are building some really cool vehicles over there. And what was the social media? It's at Track and Trail Offroad?
Yeah, at Track and Trail Offroad is a shop, and we appreciate it. Thanks for having us on. It's been awesome just getting to talk racing and off-road life with you guys, for sure.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
thank you.
Well, we really enjoy it. You guys did a fantastic job on the show. You got anything else for them before they take off, Joe?
No, I think it's really great what you guys are doing over there, and best of luck this weekend over in Parker. And
oh, wait, actually,
do well.
before we sign off, Kerri, since I know you'll send me an email like super quick, I wanted to give you some of these. They're little basically dog tags that you can hang on your driver's suit or even in the Jeeps when you go off-roading. They have a little information for medical stuff. I was in a serious accident, and I could have definitely used these. These are super, super cool, and all they do is just hang on like your wherever you want, or you could even put them in the Jeep or something when you go on a trail. They're really, really cool, and we have a bunch of them, so I can send you guys some.
Yes, please.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's from a company called TactMed, and Josh is the owner of TactMed. He does all the stuff himself, just like the stuff that you guys do. He's
Awesome.
He's an active duty police officer, and he just wants to help people, so it's cool to help him support his new venture.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Absolutely.
we'll send some to you guys. So we really appreciate it. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to say before we sign off?
No, man, just thanks again, and hopefully we can bump into you, talk to you guys in person at an
Yeah.
event or something, instead of just doing this new, I feel like what we could call this virus style hanging out.
Yeah, these Zoom type interview kind of things. Yeah. Well, we still really appreciate it, man. We wouldn't have been able to do this without you guys staying up late. So thank you very much, and enjoy the pizza rolls if you get some afterwards.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see how
exactly.
hydrated we get after this.
There you go.
Awesome. All right.
Have a good night. Thank you, guys.
We'll see you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
What'd you think, Tyler? You can stay for a sec. I'm going to sign off the show. What'd you think about the show? Do you think it was pretty cool? You can keep those on. Yeah,
put it back on.
keep them on. What'd you think about the show?
I think it was pretty cool.
So did you like coming on the show, or did you like just hanging out while we were doing it?
Both.
Yeah, coming on's kind of cool, right? Because you get to talk to all these awesome people that we get to talk to, like Kerri and Oren.
Right.
So, all right, dude, give me a high five. You did awesome today. So,
Thank you.
thank you very much, Joe, for coming in and helping
thanks,
out, dude.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, well, it was cool that you got to, see Oren after you haven't seen him for a little
Yeah,
bit,
I haven't
right?
seen him for a couple months, and it's the only time we see each other is really at the races,
Yeah,
and it's usually short-lived, but it's always best.
Yeah.
It's always good times, and hang out for a couple 5-10 minutes and move on. Being with different teams and different agendas, it's tough, but
yeah, it
it's
really
always
is.
good to see.
Yeah, it really is. So, okay, cool. Well, we really want to thank everybody for joining us. So thank you very much. And all these comments and everybody for joining the show and asking Kerri and Oren so many good questions and stuff. That was really, really cool. So thank you guys so much for being a part of the show tonight. Thank you very much to our sponsors. We really want to keep all that stuff going. We are currently going to be looking for and having meetings for some new sponsorship stuff. So that's going to be pretty cool to see who else wants to join the program. I'm excited about that. I kind of feel like it's doing it like we did our race program, right? You get excited about these new opportunities. So it's really cool, and we couldn't get those sponsors without all you guys listening. So thank you very much. Thank you to Shock Therapy. Thank you to Kmc Wheels. Thank you very much to the guys at Zollinger Racing Products. Thank you to the guys at Solder Weld. Thanks Josh at TactMed. He doesn't actually sponsor the show, but I'm really passionate about his products. And thank you guys at Zollinger Racing Products. On any of their websites, you can use the code DIRTLIFE or just give them a call, and you can save a whole bunch of money. So again, thank you very much to all of our sponsors. Next week, we gonna have a pretty interesting week. On Monday next week, we are going to do a show live from the Warfighter Made building or shop in Temecula, California on Monday. And then following that, we're going to do a show on Friday. So we'll be out there for a whole week. Like I said, having meetings. We're going to do a show on Friday with Max's Mike Farmer. So it's going to be pretty cool. So next week's going to be a busy week. So please pay attention to our social media and hang out because that's going to be a fun show. Casey Sims is going to be on on the Warfighter show. So we're going to have a whole bunch of good kid and young adult talk. I think it's going to be really cool to see how they are living their dirt life currently right now. So. Man, I'm just really excited with all this dirt life stuff that's going on right now. We just got done with the UTV World Championship. We'll ask, Casey, how his UTV World Champion, he beat me.
Really?
Yeah, he beat me by a couple positions, so I'm going to get on him about that.
Yep.
So, again, thank you very much, Tyler. Thank you to all our sponsors. Thank you, Joe. We really appreciate it, and thank you guys very much for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. We hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Thank you for living your dirt life with us. We love you. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show.